Here we are.
Hello, everybody. 48 Mahjong professional players, 16 teams, but only one team can be the strongest. Welcome to Session 2 of the Saikyosen Team Battle. I'm Chiral, and there's two places you can find me. On Twitch at itsmechiral, and on the Ron Discord server, where my amazing team and I host a Mahjong League. Applications for the next season are still open until the 22nd, so if you're active during UK evenings, consider signing up. The one behind the controls today, and the person I get the privilege to commentate this first game with, is Jenn. Hello!
Hello. Hopefully I don't mess it up too much. What?
I think this is going to be a busy day for you, right? You've got this broadcast now, and I think you're doing a study session later on?
Yeah, there's a WRC study session. It will be morning time Eastern, so it'll be like afternoon in Europe and night in Japan. And then we have session 2, or the second half of session 2 tomorrow at the same Mahjong time, same Mahjong channel.
Yes, exactly. We'll also later on be hearing from Dave and Korak in Game to Do today. Our broadcast day is sponsored by the WRC and USPML. We hope you'll check out Sparrow's Nest, a New York Mahjong studio fully equipped with Slim Score, Ultima, and even Rex 3 order tables. WRC, of course, is the World Riichi Championship, the most prestigious international Mahjong tournament in the world, held once every 3 years, the next of which will be in July in Tokyo. It's so soon.
So soon.
We are the we are the WRC YouTube channel, and if you're enjoying these broadcasts, maybe give us a like, maybe subscribe. The more our channel grows, the more stuff we'll be able to broadcast for y'all. But let's get to a quick overview of the rules today. We are at session 2 out of 7 of this qualifier. In each session, 16 players will play 5 games. We're going to see 2 of them today and 3 tomorrow. The rules are similar to WRC, but we do have Ipatsu, we do have a 30k starting score, and there are no ties, no busting, and I like to say it's controversial, but a lot of people like head bumps, so I aim elbows on that one. But yes, gonna be really good to watch, I think. Really fun.
Yeah, and the scores, although they do count, they're not the main part of the scoring in this. So the scores, they just count the scores by your actual placing. The scores that you get do count, but they only count as tiebreakers if everybody has the same amount of table points. So it's a fully table point only type of event.
Exactly, yes. Each position you gain is a point for your team. And speaking of the teams, who's playing game 1, Jenn?
We do have that. Do we have that? Is that something I forgot? Or maybe there's something I forgot. But we will get it right now.
Case, we could go straight to it.
Second. No, we do have it. We do have
awesome.
it. It'll just take me 1 second. So, could talk about something cooler than me getting it.
I guess you could. So what is the topic? Is there like a theme of your study sessions that are happening?
No, don't make me talk.
Okay, fair enough. What could we? What could?
I can just get it. Okay.
We can just go straight to it. That also works. So yeah, in the East seat, as we can see there, Takumi Nakano, representing from JPML, representing team. I'm glad you have to tell me the teams. I'm sorry. I cannot tell.
This is they're just Tomozoi. The Tomozoi Shoten one is really hard to tell. It looks like a Japanese flag. And Tsubasa Kihara, another member of JPML, representing Aoke, which is a Katie news site. Teika Minami, also from JPML, representing B and Queens, and Ngeki Shimoishi, who we saw a lot last time. From the Nihon Pro Mahjong Association, representing DD Studio. So one team appears on every single game in each session, and the other players all switch out. So we have like a table master. So last time the table master was DD Studio, and this time it's Aoke. So you'll see a member of Team Aoke in every game today and tomorrow.
Hey, they're our protagonist. I see. Very
Yes.
good. Wow.
Protagonist, that's right.
If we have a standings page, I'd love to see
do
it.
have a
Otherwise,
standings
let's just get
page.
straight. Oh,
That I got for you. That I got for you.
thank you.
All right,
Amazing.
there we go.
So yeah, Team Aoke in the lead right now. Quite a significant lead too. 13 points. Very impressive. And as we can see, the scores in the games are there, but that doesn't matter unless two people are on the same number of winning points. Like, for example, Being Queens and number 9 here. Being Queens being slightly ahead, potentially getting into that, potentially getting to the round 2 playoffs if they can get one more position. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes. Obviously, it's the start of the league. We've still got 7 sessions left to go, and even in last place, we can always recover, especially with this much time. But the only way to see how our 4 teams are going to do.
Plenty of time. There's 5 games each time, so it's potential plus 15 for each date.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, we have 30 games for you before these playoffs are done. This qualifier, sorry, are done. So, yeah, it's going to be really good to watch.
All right, shall we get right into it?
Oh, please.
Here we go.
Good luck, everybody. I like how you've got the that sort of the dichotomy. There are two types of people in the world. Those who show up wearing nice suits and ties, and those who have the actual uniform.
Yeah, most pro orgs kind of require suits and ties, but these sort of team events allow uniforms. And so it's really either or.
It's very smart either way. And as we can see each team's score here. 4 of the top teams going into this first game of the second session. See, one team's going to pull ahead, and will it be our first dealer here?
Just double checking. We have all the names correct, I believe.
Always good to make sure.
I did check 5 or 6 times.
So, looking at everyone's starting hands, I really like Nakano's hand. It's just building itself to a nice, standard sort of pin through. The exact kind of thing you're looking for when you're going for an early dealership like this. But Shimoishi does have a triplet of the White Dragon. And could potentially go for a flush, could potentially go for a lot of other things, but it's mostly just going to clear away the single honors.
Yeah, now
build.
He just pulled an open-ended weight, so that kind of kills any flush dreams.
Honestly, fair. Given that the name of the game here is position rather than score, you don't always have to chase huge amounts of value, right? Obviously, you want to try and get the win, but gaining a couple points, gaining a position or two nice and early on, and then hopefully defending that lead. Oh, you see a drop tile, but it's not a big deal.
Yeah, you really...
Yeah, well, actually, one interesting thing I think is from... I think it's Kihara's hand, having that 1-3-3 with the one man being the Dora. Here it is. Does kind of put you into a bit of an awkward position. It looks like they could even be considering going for 7 pairs there, based on how the rest of the hand just hasn't quite shaped up.
Yeah, if you can pair up a Dora, then 7 pairs is usually worth going for because it just gains value so quickly. If you can't pair up the Dora, it's really almost a worthless hand.
Adira is now currently 1 away from Tenpai, though. I do feel like Nakano is going to take the early lead here. Nothing wrong with a good dealer reach, especially if you can get that pure per sequence chance that I do see brewing with the 2-2-3-3 pin. But, oh, yes, that is just any Tenpai will do, and we only have to pair up, triple up the 2 or the 3. So, reach only, but very fast. By my count, I think there's 3 tiles out there that get the win, so... Could see, oh, not quite. But it does mean that for everyone else on the table, we've ruled out that 4-5 shape. So we can easily maybe see someone play a 3 if they have a good enough hand. Oh, there's one of our 2s! But it's not going to get played by Shimoishi, who is instead choosing 3 safe tiles. It is East 1. You do not need to be the one to take the risk and deal in at this stage in the game.
Yeah, especially to dealer.
Exactly. I actually like how Kihara's playing this safely, but also potentially keeping the back door of an outside hand. I'm liking it. I'm liking it, Kihara. And we set up a second Suji trap with that 5-pin discard. Not that I believe these players are likely to deal in just yet. We may see a pursuit reach from Minami, though, as they approach Senpai of their own.
Where do we see those tiles? I think that there are plenty of other safe tiles in Shimoishi's hand. And he's probably not going to... I don't know, I guess it could... We still have 6 draws left or so for each player, so that 2 could come out as a Suji, if nothing else, if he runs out of other safe tiles.
Yeah. This is Tenpai, but you don't want to cut Dora to make that work, do you? Do we see anything from the player in Reach that might suggest that one is safe? There was a really early 2 discard, but...
Yeah, she could... There's 2 2s on the table already. So there aren't very many winners, but she could set a Suji trap, I guess. But goes for it. Discards the Dora for Reach.
4-7 will do it. And I think that locks the 2 pins and 3 pins there out. Just 1 tile left, I believe, for the first dealer reach.
Oh, but that makes a double Suji. Now the 2 dot is a Suji to both reach players, so we may see that from Shimoichi's hand. And he's going up against 2 reaches. First, probably the red dragon. Oh, wait. 1 away from ready
by
as
my
well.
quick count, I think the 4-7 of characters, I think it's either 2 or 3.
Oh, it's right there.
Oh, but there's a 4! Turns out you need 1. And with that, we do not flip Uradora. But Riichi Pinfu, a very nice start, especially hitting it from the D-lane, claiming their Riichi stick as well. It'd be hard to defend, but the early lead is always a nice one. So we enter East 2.
So we're used to seeing at the top the scores that the players have now applied to their running total. In this case, you won't see that because we just see the table points that they have going into the hand.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point, right? Seeing the... It would be interesting to see sort of maybe like a projection of plus the amount that they would score from the end of this game. Maybe I could see that.
Yeah, but another thing is that since it's not by group the way that we see with the Sankei Shimbun Cup,
that's also true. Yeah.
The scores aren't really like usually with the Sankei Shimbun Cup we're seeing 4 teams that are only playing against each other. So the scores are a lot more relevant to each other. In this case, it's a running total for all the teams. So it would probably be a little bit less relevant than what we're used to seeing.
Yeah, exactly. It's early on, so we're going to see a lot of sort of tie situations where the scores will matter, but I think as the tournament progresses, we're going to see our scores get a little bit more spread out, I think. Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe I would love to be wrong and have it be really close right up until the very end, but I absolutely can see the individual scores not mattering at all in this situation. We did also see an interesting situation here for the player who called that dragon. They have the 7 of characters, which is Dora, and that's really exciting. But they also could be considering about a half flush here, so probably not anymore.
Yeah.
1 Dora is almost as good as a half flush, and certainly not worth playing a Dora 2.
And it's open-ended. You'll see, like, most pros will stop going for the flush once they have an open-ended. They're really easily cut away from the pinch on the side weights and like
Exactly.
one side of the middle weight, but when you have open-ended, then it's really unlikely they'll drop that for a flush unless they really need the points, and no one really needs the points in East 2.
Yeah, exactly. I do think it's quite cool how Minami gave up on the pair of white dragons. It had been once cut already, so it wasn't the fastest shape in the world. But also, she's going for that 1-2-3 mixture sequence.
And
Going
yeah,
for the 2
outside
extra hand, she can
as
get it.
well.
Gonna need 2 specific tiles to make it work, but I think it's a good dream. I think it's worth going for. The downside, of course, is had she kept the pair of white dragons, she could have called the East and been Tenpai now. But
And Tenpai with an outside hand, so she was really going for those 2 extra Han, which means that she doesn't want to call either, because she wants both extra Han and not just one. Because if it's just one, then the white dragon would be worth the same amount.
But we do see a reach on the table here from the dealer, waiting on only the 2 of characters. So maybe not the greatest weight in the world, but it's going to drive this Sanshoku away. There's one of them! Do believe means that we have 2 remaining in the wall. That's not it, though. Hello, welcome.
Welcome, make sure you hit the like button. We need as many likes as possible.
Honestly, yeah, the more we can grow the channel, the more events we can be casting for you. We've got a wonderful team. And Jenn does a lot of work to make everything as good as possible for you all. So it's cool. But yeah, we are in a situation here where I think we might just see a lot of not much happening, unfortunately, because everyone is folding to this reach, and this reach only has 2 tiles that it can win on it. Would be a pretty exciting thing, though, if we saw that last 2-man, but we'll see.
I mean, as dealer, the main goal, as we always say, is to keep being dealer. So you'd like to win the hand, but getting other players to fold is just as important.
Yeah, that reach drove off a very good attack, right? That mixture sequence. I mean, I say it was very good. We were still left waiting on needing to draw exactly the 3 of bamboo and the 1 of characters. But had they arrived and that reach hadn't come out, maybe it would have been a very, very significant threat. Any player here, though, sneak into Tenpai, trying their best just to get a ready hand by the end of this. Not necessarily to win, but just to be ready. A lot of players won away. We do see that from Nakano. Nami here's going to struggle.
Yeah, Minami is also went away, but definitely neither of these players have hands that they're going for wins with anymore. It's just to get to ready, and Nakano's given up even on getting to ready.
Yeah, I think the other problem is the 6-9 weight here. You'd have to go at least one of the 6 or the 9, and they're both live. There's literally... Maybe you could argue that because you see 2 8s, it's less likely someone has 7-8, but I don't like relying on walls of 2 tiles. I don't think that doesn't make me happy, especially when the Dora is the 8 as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure you call it a blocker if you only have 2.
Yeah. This is Tenpai,
That is Tenpai, but it gives up.
Not taken. Yeah, I respect it. I don't think I'd want to play 6 or 9 characters there. I think they actually are safe, but there's no way to guarantee that.
She's deciding how to take the 1 away.
Yeah, Nakano drawing a second Dora there. Honestly, I feel that's almost a relief sometimes, you know? Oh, well, now we have Pinfu. Now I think I'd go for it. Pinfu Dora 1. No!
No draws left, I think, for
Teika. True. Tend to dream too much. This is also Tenpai.
That was the one that was given up on first, but came back because we have 2 players Tenpai.
Gonna be 1,500 points for each. But I guess this benefits Kihara a little bit less because they've spent 1,000 points to make that reach happen. But they do get to keep the dealership. As we go on to East to repeat number 1. 1,300 points available to whoever wins this hand. And given how close the scores are, if it ends up being a really fast game, maybe 1,300 points in the pot here is going to make a big difference. We'll see. Dealer does open a very interesting hand. A lot of pairs, but we'll see. We'll see how that was. Pair of West winds, but not in the West seat right now.
There are 3 pairs, but also a completed sequence and an open-ended.
And a Dora, which is always a nice thing to see. Oh, wait, sorry, no, I take it back. The Dora's a 9, not the 8. What am I doing? This is definitely something that I've had to adjust to when I've been casting events. The Dora we see on the top left of the screen is the actual Dora, not the Dora indicator. And for some reason, my brain decided to reverse it for some reason. I don't know. Can really throw you for a loop sometimes. Trying to, am I adding one? Am I taking one away? No. Anyway.
It's a Dora acceptance. And now
Completely.
sort of a Sanshoku acceptance. Actually, she keeps the Sanshoku acceptance with a Ryankan. She'd have to draw an 8 dot, but keeping the 7 means is a potential for a 789 Sanshoku.
One of the more interesting hands right now is Shimoishi's, right? You have a Dora 2. You have a pair of the 8s as well of characters, which you know there's a one less because it is the Dora indicator. You can see it in the wall there. But you also have a pair of dragons, so you've got to start thinking, like, am I willing to call this? Am I willing to call this just hope I get the dragons? I have Dora 2. Maybe I can have Dora 3. And you did mention Sanshoku here. 789 is definitely doable with that 9 of pin draw. See if they get lucky and draw the 8. Or if they run out of time here. Confirming the 2 of characters there as their pair. And we are going to see this call. Okay. I was wondering if we were going to be playing this a bit more close, trying to reach. Oh wait, no, she actually pulled the last dragon herself. I take it back. She already has the dragon. She doesn't need to worry about the third one arriving. I just missed that. Okay, I see. Even more exciting. But our dealer is now 1 away from Tenpai with Sanshoku of their own, potentially.
I know, 1 away for Minami with the Sanshoku that we were talking about. She shifted that Ryankan, the double gutty, up from the 357 to the 579 for that Sanshoku, the mixed sequence acceptance.
Exactly, yes. But we also see a potential 678 as well.
Yeah, not the right.
From our dealer. And this, with that call, we do have Tenpai here from Shimoishi. Unfortunately, she's waiting on the Dora and Dora indicator, which is going to be a tough wait to make happen. And we actually see, I believe, the last 8 of characters is being held right there.
Wrong side for the Sanshoku. But I think still take Tenpai and not reach.
I think it's perfectly fair to do that. I think one of the rules of thumb that I've been told, I think I've repeated this a few times over the streams of the WSC channel, is if you have an upgrade, 1 tile that gives you 3 Han, it's perfectly fine to Dharma and try and pick up the 3 Han of upgrades. And drawing the Dora and getting the Sanshoku is more than good enough for that. We do see a reach, though, from our dealer, and it is going to cause Minami to fold. Honestly, the sad thing is that we actually drew the 6. If we'd given up on the 789, this hand could be over right now, but value is important.
I mean, the 6 is probably the reason why she folded. A lot of pros use the rule of thumb where if you end up missing your win, drawing something that you would have made you win, then you give up the hand is a rule of thumb that a lot of players kind of stand by.
I think, honestly, just to avoid tilting, I think that could be very important sometimes. You know,
that is true. I had a really bad tilt
like,
today.
I'm going to chase this, I'm going to chase this, I'm going to chase this, and you end up dealing in. It's very easy to make a mistake.
That's true.
I will say, though, this Riichi only has one tile left to win on. We were talking about the 8 of characters and how we know where all 4 of them are. The 5 of characters, which I got scared for a second there, the 5 of characters, we only see 1 in the wall. So we might...
One
if
on the
everyone else
board?
falls and doesn't make their own tempai.
Oh, but the 9 is drawn
door!
first. Hatsudora-san.
Door 3. Easy claiming of both of those Riichi 6 and the Honba and a Mangan. Well, she might not be dealer yet, but now you've got the lead. I don't think it's enough to necessarily just be like, okay, I can start playing a bit more passively, but getting a nice early lead like that is going to be very, very helpful. But it's Minami's turn. The Dora will be the 3 of darts. And maybe this day it's all about Sanchoku, because I see a very possible 789 Sanchoku here. Already 2 789s gathered, and we have an 8 in the 3rd suit. That mixed triple sequence could be very exciting. Having said that, though, actually, no, nothing else about this hand is bad. This hand is incredible in every way. I take it back. There might be a few single honor tiles that we have to get rid of, but that's not a big deal. Not a big deal at all.
Especially compared to all the other hands that are quite slow. Everybody's hand is quite slow.
Shimoishi can accept the Dora with the 2s and 4s in their hand, but just doesn't quite have the actual Dora themselves. Maybe they don't need it. Maybe they can go for 7 pairs. Maybe they can go for a pure double sequence. Lots of different routes for them to take, but we'll see. That 2 of bamboo does help a lot. And this is not the tile we want to be seeing. If we're going to go for that mixed triple sequence, we need a 789 in each suit. We don't need a pair of 8s. But it is still a pair. And maybe we take whatever ready hand that we can get. Whichever happens first. Interesting. Pinfoo is now an option. If we give up entirely on that mixed triple sequence and use the 8 of characters as our pair, go for all sequences, get the 5/6 man as our final weight. And that guarantees Pinfoo, if that's what we want our dealer to go for. The very worst, we end up having to cut the 6 and have that 5/6 as our final shape now. I still want to be seeing the 789 mixed sequence appearing, and there's still a chance for that. But not with a green dragon.
Actually, it feels like Kihari kept that 4 dot for the Dora acceptance, but it's also Sanchoku acceptance.
Yeah. Poor Shimoishi there.
Yeah.
Giving the 5 of pins away, only to draw a pair of them. I think it was probably the right decision at the time, especially if you're going to commit to a 7 pairs hand. But whenever you go for 7 pairs, sometimes the wall has a better idea about what you should be doing, you know?
I mean, there's only 3 types of tiles that help you once you're 1 away, so it gets really tedious. And just lots of drawing and discarding and lots of... Oh, that would have been a pair. Oh, that would have been a pair. Oh, look, that would have been a pair too.
It's always the case, right? And we finally have a tempai for this Pinfoo. Not the Sanchoku, sadly, but still, Riichi Pinfoo Nothing wrong about that at all. I mean, I've seen a lot of very defensive play today, so I expect to see a lot of players, at least while we're still in the East round, be more than happy to pass upon a potential win. I think that's going to be what we end up seeing. But honestly, though, from Nakane's perspective, Nakane does have a potential Itsu building up. I need to check how the 1 and 4 of characters are doing. We see one character discarded by our player here, Kihara, with the 6 being the Riichi stick. So the Riichi tile. I think 1-4 looks particularly suspicious, but this is Ishanten for that Itsu, potentially, if we can see the 1 of characters, 1 to 9 in the same suit. The efficient discard is the Dora, but it is the Dora, so we shouldn't be discarding that one.
Really, it's really tempting to discard that Dora there.
Yeah, absolutely. If it was safe to the dealer reach, I might be more inclined to do it, but it's just not. There's nothing suggesting that middle pin tiles are... Oh, that's the 1 mark! Here it goes. Riichi, Itsu, pure straight. Pin through all sequences. It's ready.
We had that decided one draw ago. I won't discard the Dora now, but if I get that full straight, then it's going. And there it went. And
Ipatsu, one shot, sumo, self draw. No error. We didn't flip any bonus tiles, but what a huge win! That is a very satisfied smile.
And Ipatsu Sanshoku. Not Sanshoku. Itsu is still Haneman 3,000 from the non-dealers and 6,000 from the dealer.
Exactly. Minami had... Oh, wait, sorry, no. Shimoshi had the early lead. Minami and Kihara, though, currently tied. I don't think this was on our list. On a tie, is it seat priority?
I believe it's seat priority, yes. They can't split the table points, I believe, because...
That would make sense.
Yeah, they don't give half table points.
Okie doke. So we move on with 2 pairs of players very close to each other in points. We'll see. But anything that is done in the East round, which is not finished yet, can be undone in the South round. We have a very lightning fast hand from Minami, but Minami needs points. So maybe calling dragons and just accepting a very cheap hand is not what we want to be seeing here.
Maybe, but it's the East round, so you do kind of want to aim for points and not worry too much about the other players, how many points the other players have at this point. But
that's
then
true.
again, if you don't have any value in your hand and it's going to be tough to get it, then like stopping the dealer in their tracks is also worthwhile.
That's true. That is true. Obviously, with Reach, I think any hand can be worth with points. We've seen a Reach only be, I believe, 12,000 in the finals we cast of a different event literally last week. So you can always flip Uradora with Reach. You can always get Ipatsu. And we did see the Red Dragon get past, at least the first one. Maybe for the second Red Dragon, we might see a different story if someone does play it. But for that first one, I do like them staying closed, trying to build their own value. They drew it themselves! And this is going to be a Reach Red Dragon on a very good weight too. Very early.
Very early. Discards the Dora as the Reach declaration tile.
Yeah, I think that tends to be quite a thing we see quite often, right? Players keeping a Dora. Mm-hmm. Just if we can use it, that's great. If we can't use it, especially if we hit Tenpai early enough.
The only thing you sometimes see is sometimes players will discard the Dora first and then Reach one turn later, so that because Dora is more likely to be called and ruining the Ipatsu chance.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And also, I guess if someone calls Dora 3, maybe you decide, actually, you know what, this wasn't worth fighting. Tenpai for our dealer, but it's not as good a weight. We are going to see a Pursuit Reach, though, needing to triple up the 3 pin or 8 of characters. There is an 8 of characters right here, but I don't think we're going to see it be played. I think Nakano, especially from first place, doesn't know what to do into either of these Riichis.
Yeah, I think that he reached because there's a reach on the board already. So that player obviously cannot stop anything that, Minami cannot stop anything she draws. So it's like having a double draw.
Yeah.
But the same goes for her, and she's a lot more likely to get her winning tile. Generally with an open-ended, but we do see 2 5s here.
The 8 does get played, though.
The 8 goes first.
So Riichi, all simples, and did not flip Aradora. Fortunately, had we waited one turn, somehow and known that the 5 was going to be the reverse Dora. A lot of very specific things happened all in one go.
Yeah, I mean all the 5s were really taken up, and
that's true.
I don't think there are very many 2s available either. There were 2 in a sort of 2-2-4-4-6-6 shape, which is not likely to come out. And it was a nice open-ended weight, but it was kind of a tough win under those circumstances. Not that she could have seen that.
Yeah, exactly. And this is a very big win for Shimoshi, though, right? Getting to hit their direct competitor, hitting second place. Could put him in a really, really good position. Having a little look at. See, I'm not Dave, and we're going to be seeing Dave later on today. But why is every hand out today either Sanshiraku or Chanta? Why is it always a mixture sequence or an outside hand? It feels like, I don't know why, but all the wall just seems to be drifting towards one of those two today. Especially for our dealer here, drawing a 7-9. Maybe we can go for both the mixture sequence and the outside hand.
Yeah, those are a couple that go together well. What in the world is Kihara going to do with that hand?
Yeah, it's a good question, isn't it? Okay, if we're believing in that, the 7 of pins does help. It's a long shot to try and draw the 8 and the 9, but you never know, right? The next 2 draws could be perfect.
Alright, 3. So Kihara is also going to keep hedging the outside hand.
Yeah, I don't really see Kihara making a lot of value. Obviously, the east pair, especially if we draw the triplet, would be very exciting.
Nope,
there's an
cannot
east.
Do that anymore. There's 2 in this hand.
Yeah.
That's what we call mochi
2
mochi.
players with a pair each, exactly. It's not going to stop them from getting to 10 and reaching, though. But if someone does reach on a pair weight, including that east, could make their life a little bit more awkward. Definitely one of the things that I need to work on. This is definitely something I need to work on. It's not something I've done recently, but oftentimes I remember that I used to keep a pair of winds or dragons, and then if I folded, I'd pick the pair of winds or dragons and then immediately just deal in, because the person who reached had a pair of them as well.
Right.
It's definitely something I need to be looking out for more often, I think, in my own play. Oftentimes, a live, but a pair of tiles is sometimes the best thing you can see. Oh, a huge draw here for Nakano there, completing that 3-4-5 shape. Yeah, everything's developing, it's just it's not as exciting as it could be. Do you have this potential? Honestly, on a 7 of pin draw, there is a Riichi, there is pin food, there is a chance of that pure sequence. There's a lot to like. But I believe a nice hand. It's just needing one specific tile to make that happen. Here's a Dora. What do we cut, if anything? Do we just commit to the... okay, we commit to the half outside hand. And that does mean we can call. Even the Dora, the West, if it gets played. you can call Dora 3. People will look at you funny because you don't have a Yaki with that West, and they'll think, okay, this player's got something going on, and that will probably be very easy to defend against. But do have a West sitting right here, and I definitely see a world where Kihara gets the Tenpai and Riichi is cutting the West. I definitely see a world where this deals in.
Which means she has to decide. Discards the 3. The sounds of sacrilegious.
It's actually a really good question, right? Looking at the pawns, I guess we've seen a lot of Sozu played, a lot of bamboo tiles played, but we haven't seen many pin tiles played. So for I don't know, it's character tiles.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tough one. There's 1-2 bamboo on the board. There's also 1-2 character on the board. Now there's 2-2 characters on the board.
There's 2.
Yeah. The thing is, it's like you choose one or the other. If there are a lot on the board, then it means it's easier to win on because people are going to be more likely to discard it.
That's true.
On the other hand, it might be dangerous to discard the one that you see less of, and you might end up dealing in. So it's it's always a balancing game in that aspect.
I will say this is a horror story though for our dealer, drawing the 2 of bamboo and seeing 3 of their 2 of characters get played.
Yeah.
Bit of a horror story there. That's the kind of thing you have nightmares about. Choosing between 2 weights that are 3 tiles and then just everything that could possibly go wrong has.
Backfire.
There's the 1-2 man out there, though. Yeah, I was going to say, is there a way we can climb that to a sand shock of some kind? No, not quite. Okay, well, this puts the hand to a much better. Well, it sounds Tenpai, actually. I take it back. I was going to say it was 1 away, but no. If we just cut the 9, we have a not great Tenpai, but a Tenpai from Minami. And with that 5 of pin draw, we see that Nakano's building a pin tree now.
Okay, this is now an Entotsu weight. The 3/6 bamboo plus the 3 character weight. And she will reach.
Yeah, definitely respectable. It's one of those things where you have so many types of tiles, but also so many of the tiles are already in your hand that there aren't as many left to draw. And lots of different types of tiles. So it can sometimes feel quite nice. I'm waiting on this, and this. Just don't think too hard about the fact that...
And she draws it. Another Ippatsu.
Only 1 of the 6 of bamboo remaining, but there it is. No error either, but... Ippatsu, you say. Very good, very good.
1,000, 2,000.
Yeah, not a complete game change for Minami, but every position does count as 1 point in the league, and that does put them from 4th place to 3rd. As we enter South 1, obviously you still want to go for 1st place. But it is really interesting. I haven't played a rule set like this where the gaps between positions are literally just 1, right? And usually it's either we're used to playing online ranked, something like that, where you have a massive penalty for 4th, or we're playing like a league where you have a massive bonus for 1st. Also, hang on, 5 dragons? There's just 5, or is there 6 there? Just 5, okay. But yeah, it's always interesting because with some events we've cast, we have a massive 1st place bonus, right? And in other events we've cast, it's a definitely in a league that I run, the rank bonus changes depending on whether you're above or below your starting score. All these things do have like a small factor into how you actually like approach a situation, right? Because it's the risk reward.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
Yeah. Because in this one, it is just as valuable to fight for 3rd when you're in a position for 4th that it is for fighting for 1st. I think it's interesting. But either way, then we have moved on to the South round. 2 players with a red dragon pair each which makes my dream of this being a potential Yakuman a little bit less exciting, sadly. So that the white dragons being held and now discarded by 2 players really nips that one.
Yeah, the Yakuman is gone. And also with the white dragons all out, makes it very unlikely for a small dragon sand, and he will release that 3rd white dragon.
Exactly. I do see 2 players potentially building a pair's hand, though. Oh, no, I take it back. We're calling. You know, with 2 pairs of dragons, absolutely fine. 2 dragon pairs, 2 Han. I think we've also got that 1 Dora in the 5 of characters there.
Yeah,
3 Han is perfectly acceptable, especially as dealer.
And he did discard the 6th character to lock in that Dora, open-ended, using the Dora.
Yeah, I like that very much. It's definitely something I don't do as often, but it's always fun to see. The hedge there that Minami's doing for the potential pure straight 1 to 9. Keeping that 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, needing the 2 and the 6 to make into that pure straight. 2 specific tiles, but at least for now, until that 1 is really hurting us, I like keeping it. I like it. It's good.
Yeah, I agree.
Just in case we high roll and draw the perfect 2 tiles. Either way, though, I do believe that is 1 away now for Kihara. With a pair south, I think it's just going to be Riichi only, but if we can see an earlier Tenpai, Riichi only is absolutely the right thing to do.
Nakano also maintaining 1 away. Really looking to pull in that red dragon, but since it's Mochi Mochi, that's unlikely, so we'll see where the Tenpai ends up.
Jenn, do you agree with Kihara's choosing to keep this Tenpai with no Yaku and not reach?
I mean, it's hard because he's double south, right?
Yeah, okay, that's actually a good
So,
point.
yeah, if you can pull in the south, it's a lot of value. Even more value than just Nichinomi.
You know, I hadn't considered it was double south. Yeah, that's a very good point. But at the same time, are we going to see, maybe after a few more draws, a reach come out? No!
It's making it easier to use that double south by discarding the open-ended and keeping the fake open-ended. Adiam.
Yeah, that's very true. If we did get to pawn the south, we would have that 2-5 of pin weight left over. Very nice.
But that's
but we
reach
are going
with
to see a
all
reach
pairs
here.
hands.
Interesting how we reached by cutting the Dora. Could have made a play for Dora 2, but chose, you know what, actually, I don't need Dora 2 right now. Which is interesting from Minami. I would be so greedy in this situation if I were them. Trying to fish for that 5.
She is in first place, so...
oh, sorry, yes, I completely...
Yeah, he wants to try and, I guess, keep that with an easier weight, maybe? And some people really like the 2 bamboo, even though it's not like a cult. There is
in this
actually...
situation, I think it's quite interesting, right? Because we do see a lot of... well, two players here have played the 5. 3 players here have played the 5. And it's a Suji trap.
That's
so I can definitely
for
understand the 2 there being seen as a safe tile. There is one of them, but I don't think we're going to see it get played just yet. Too useful. And there are other tiles that are guaranteed 100% safe.
Yeah, Minami is really just playing 100% safe right now, so it's unlikely we'll see the 2 come out. Even with the 3 bamboo blockers that she can see, and even with it being Suji. A second, now the south is also Mochi Mochi, and that is 2 away for Minami.
Looking at... Actually, that's really interesting. I hadn't considered this, but looking at Shimoshi's discards, it almost looks like a flush to me. The fact that Shimoshi's not played a single pin tile in, and not a single pin tile and not a single honor tile until
true.
after the reach. I would be thinking that's a flush. There's a very real chance I would deal in here.
Yeah, but it is a suspicious flush if there are no honor tiles, right?
That's true. That's true.
Generally, you'd expect like 1 or 2 maybe, but... And Kihara will take it first.
Managed to build Itsu to use that south pair without needing that Yaku. Very, very good.
And Shimoishi deals in from the reach, nothing he could do about that. And that will bring Kihara to his second dealership in South 2. Kihara was actually endorsed by the M-Leaguer Honda for a Saikyosen event last year, where they had like a bunch of pros who were endorsed by M-Leaguers for a special qualifier.
Okay. I do like that sort of idea, I guess. Yeah. Like having maybe interviewing pros, like who think's like upcoming, who think's going to be doing well this year. Yeah, I think it's neat.
Yeah, there are a couple of tournaments like that. I guess M tournament is a lot like that, and the Saikyosen has a qualifier. I think they only have eight players, but
all right. This has been a pretty good hand here for both our dealer and I also believe Nakano as well. With that white dragon draw. Suddenly I'm very excited about Shimoshi's hand as well. Okay, Nakano with the chance of that 1-2-3 mixture sequence. It's still too early to tell if it'll happen, but it's always good to keep that in the back of the mind. The only player who's going to be struggling this hand seems like it's Minami, but the less good a hand appears, that just means the more tiles that will get it closer to the next step of readiness. Yeah, I take it back actually. This is not going to be a mixture sequence from Nakano. That one of pins is sort of fixed as our pair there, sadly. But a nice early reach does a world of good.
There's one away for Shimoishi.
Yeah, setting up for a nice 6-7-9 of bamboo weight.
I do love that sort of weight a lot. It just feels so sneaky.
It really does, doesn't it? Yeah. Just like, it's a sequence, but also it could be a pair. Huh? Yeah, you ever thought of that? The pairs also happens... I know, it was the 6 was the...
I mean, it's a really good weight against people who are counting Suji.
That's true. So it's going to be really, really hard for anyone to use the 9, right? If you've got 3 of the 8s just hidden in your hand, then odds are the only way anyone's ever going to use that 9 is if they pair it up. Because they're not going to draw an 8. There's only one left, and we see where it is. So there are no 8s left to draw for anyone. And this is a 1 away.
1 away and a perfect Shanten tape shape as well. Perfect 1 away shape. Perfect 1 away shape means that you have 1 open-ended and 1 pair stuck to an open-ended. So no matter what you tempai with, you're going to have at least an open-ended weight. And Kihara's is actually, the pair is stuck to a 3-sided weight, so it's even wider. But
yes, exactly.
He'll get rid of that 3-sided weight against this reach. Playing cautiously, but also I think there's a 3-4-5 Sanshoku chance in there. And the 6 is Dora, so he'll lock that in as well.
Yeah, my main complaint with the perfect 1 away is that oftentimes you end up discarding a tile that is literally, when you decide to reach, the tile you discard often tends to be really close to your actual weight. Which is a really good factor for anyone learning how to play the game, right? If you see a reach tile and you see that tile is let's say like a 3, maybe 2-5, maybe 1-4, a little bit more dangerous than usual because of that one shape. It exists. Gotta watch out for it. It's really efficient though, as you say, because there are so many tiles that get you to where you want to be.
Well, it just gets you to a what they call a good weight, which is open-ended or better.
Exactly.
So
this is Tenpai, but the 9 of characters needs to be played to make that happen, and it is not safe to this reach.
It's not safe, but it's 9 characters.
Yeah. Also, you've got Riichi, you've got Pinfu, you've got Adora. It's not like your hand's not worth pushing to make an attack there. It's very, very nice. And your weight's good enough.
But you'll draw it first. Itakutsumo. 2,000 each with 2 continuances. Oh, no continuances, sorry. 1,300 and 2,600. No Ura, I don't think.
Not today, though. The Ura was the east. So the Ura indicator was the east, which means the Dora would be the south. We didn't have any wins in our hand either way. But still, an ideal hand there for Shimoishi. Gets...
Yeah, the white dragon with another triple bumps that up to 40 fu. So it's 5,200 rather than 4,000.
Interesting. Having 5-7-7 when 4 is Ardora. A lot of things you want to do with that hand, but...
Like, Shimoishi's hand is actually looking nicer. Wow, Kihara's hand looks unfortunate. There's one completed sequence, but that's about it. And Minami's hand just looks so slow as well.
Yeah, given this is her last dealership, I always like cheering for the people who are behind. So I kind of want to see Minami manage to turn this dealership into something quite special, but it's going to need a lot of luck, really.
I mean, yeah, she really just needs a mug on sumo to be in first place, so she's not very far behind at all. It's just that her hand is not great, but it's improving.
Yeah, speaking of luck, drawing that 7-8-9 exactly. It's one of the worst shapes in the hand. Ooh, Nakano could go for just south here. Nakano obviously wants to get first place, so maybe want to go for a little bit more than just south, with no dealerships remaining, but being able to shut down Minami with a call could be what we want to be seeing here.
I mean, the goal that we always talk about is, in this hand, Kihara and Minami want to get at least within Mangan Sumo range of first place. Since Minami's dealer, then that's going to be a little bit different. She wants to continue as dealer as long as possible. But Kihara wants to get like maybe a 5,200 point hand or so. And Nakano is already within Mangan Sumo range, so really any win is fine. To shut down Minami's dealership and get a little bit closer to Shimoishi.
Remember we said Minami's hand was bad?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Because
slow.
It's one away from Itsu right now. And she can accept the Dora if it comes.
Slow. It's slow, but... Yeah, she has a sticky one-away shape, so anything that sticks to the Dora or sticks to that Pinzu, the dot shape, will get her to Tenpai. Great, efficient shape there. That's a great job for Kihara as well, open-ended. All right, well, this is Tenpai.
It's Tenpai.
It has the value that she... Oh, wait, no, that's not Dora. She wants Dora acceptance with the 5, so...
Yeah, if you do the 4, absolutely, you just go for it, right? But
yeah,
the 5-7 for reach only.
Now, if it was like the 4-7 with the Doras, then maybe would have seen it because it's exactly the value that she needed. But this is the Itsu 3-sided weight.
3-sided weight.
The 1 dot, of course, will give her the full straight. Yeah.
Exactly. 1 for 7 will do it though.
1 for 7 will give her each Pinfu. He thought about Shimoshi was thinking about cheating there. He did have like a nice sort of, if he called, it'd be a quick Tanyao hand to start out with. He didn't end up calling any of the tiles that he could have because there was so many open-ended, so I was hoping to get some a quick value out of it instead. And now just folds out, having skipped those calls that he could have made earlier.
Am I right in saying that there are 8 tiles? Okay, 7 tiles. We just saw a 4 get drawn for this 147 weight.
See, there's another
6
one.
tiles. Okay.
2, 3.
You know, I was gonna say how good this weight was,
4,
but then immediately commentator's curse kicked in. 1 away though for Kihara.
Yep, we can see 6 only, so that's still half the tiles available.
Oh yeah,
I think
I would
7
be very happy with.
out because there's 1 dot discarded already, so maybe 5 left.
I think so. Yeah, I think you're right. Oh, they keep getting drawn, but not by our player in Reach, not by our dealer. And yeah, playing as Suji, being seen as the safest tile here. No reason to take any risks from first place. I guess in an ideal world for Shimoishi, maybe Nakano's the one who deals in, feeling the pressure to sort of try and catch up. And this hand isn't worth too much, unless that 1 is drawn. The 4-7 it's good, but it's not crazy good. So, she keeps getting useful draws. The game just tempting. Just, hey, you could attack, you know. Are we seeing a reach? We are! As Kihara gets to Tenpai, I think it's just Riichi only. But, and there's the somewhat... No Ura flipped, and not the 1 of pins, so it is just Reach Pinfu, Sumo. But that extra Reach stick from Kihara is going to factor in as well. And suddenly, we have a very interesting South 3 with 3 players now in the running for that potential first place spot.
Well, that's exactly what she needed. And that does put her within Bangan Sumo range of first place, even if she loses her dealership here, as long as she doesn't lose too many points from that.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm very much liking the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of characters that we have going on here.
And
the rest of the hand is not quite
in the
exciting.
bamboos. Well, there's a pair in the bamboos, so she needs 2 more blocks somewhere.
Having a nice spread of tiles early on is not the worst thing, because it means pretty much anything you draw will be useful in some way. Okay, is Itsu the name of the day? That pure straight, drawing the 3, just needed 2 and the 1 to complete that. Also, if we end up waiting on a pair, if say we triple up that pair we already have, it sets up for a 3, 6, 9 wait at the end. But now we have too many pairs. Get the rest of this hand. Akano needs to get a small win, maybe, but doesn't have to be this hand, as long as Shimoishi doesn't get the win. Having a pair of East is kind of but we do have a pair of dragons with it. Maybe we go for speed over value, but I think we are more likely to see.
Okay, in an ideal world. Position where he wants to get Mangan twice. So
yes.
Probably try to build some value with this hand, but I mean, in all honesty, not last is also important, considering Aoki is in first place with right now with 13 table points.
Yeah, exactly. If I were Kihara, I wouldn't be worrying so much about Shimoishi. I would be thinking about going for second place here, because that's still 2 points for the team.
Even third place is still 1 point for the team, so you can definitely use the anything but last ladder strategy here as a last resort.
True. I agree with you, but also second is only an extra 1,500 points.
Yeah, it's true.
So like, just I'd raise the bar just a little bit. unless Nakano gets this hand and
I
pulls
mean,
away, in which
yeah, the
case,
only
then
thing with going for not last is you can win directly from Nakano or Minami, and you don't need such a big hand, even if it doesn't reach the second place spot.
it's very fair, yeah.
I mean, like 3,900 from Minami would be enough for third place, even.
I think that's a very interesting situation here for Minami. The battle between the chance of Itsu, even though the dependency on that 2 of characters is going to be a little bit tough. That's probably the reason why we see it get thrown. The other reason, of course, the 7 of characters is the Dora. She has 2 of them. But I would be very much thinking, hey, how do I open this hand and still get to win it? Having the 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 would certainly be one path to that. But I think it's interesting, just that sort of debate. When do you consider opening? Because Itsu Dora 1 is not really worth enough on its own. It would get you from 3rd place to 2nd. But that's clearly not the goal. Looking at Shimoshi's hand here, it's just...
Yeah, Shimashi doesn't have enough blocks, so it decides to keep that 6, 7, 8, 9 shape in case he draws another 7, so he can use both Dora.
Yeah, it just feels slow, unfortunately, being near the end of row 2 and still not quite. I guess it's only 2 away, but it just feels really slow for some reason.
Because he didn't have enough blocks. He still doesn't have enough decided blocks, so it feels really slow. Like, just having all your blocks decided is so different than not.
Fair.
I'm not gonna call the red dragon and release the pair of east winds.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier, and I think Nakano would be absolutely right to pass on the red dragon until about now. And now we're running out of time to build a hand, and it's not quite made itself happen by just naturally drawing it.
It's
perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Big fan of what they're doing there.
Shimoshi's Tempai, but kept that 9, even with the block sort of decided with the 3-5 shape, but that shape is just... I think middle 4-weight is just the worst reach ever, probably. It feels like worse.
It definitely feels like that, yeah.
Yeah, statistically, probably not, but it just feels terrible.
Yeah, if Shimoshi wasn't in 1st place, I think, let's say it was Kihara with that hand, I think I might have taken the reach. But from 1st place, you don't need to lock yourself in to a corner. This is not the hill you must do battle on. Not yet.
Minami thought for a second, but keeps that 3-sided weight locked in. 2-5-8 shape in the characters. Nakano, of course, waiting for the 4-7 bamboo, with lots of 6 bamboos showing. And that is Tempai for Kihara and Reach, waiting for the middle 5.
Yeah, I just literally just said that, right? I literally said, like, maybe Shimoshi won't reach on a 4, but Kihara will absolutely take that reach on a 5. Yeah. That's how she say, right? Even if we don't have...
Maybe, but there's no Dora. He has like everything except for the Dora in the monsoon.
Yeah.
Such an unfortunate shape.
And it's always, getting maybe 1,000, if we're lucky, we get Sumo, get a little bit more value. Getting within a Mangan range, so you can Mangan on anyone in South 4 and get from 4th place to 2nd place would be a very nice position to be in.
But Nakano will draw it first.
Unfortunately, did not pay off. And instead, we just give 1,000 points to Nakano, as you say. Which does put Nakano in a very good position here.
300, 500 with 1 continuance, so 400, 600.
Not a huge win needed. Just any win. Or Fushimoshi to be the one to deal in. Although at this point, the scores are really close between the top 3 players. I would not want to gamble on Shimoshi losing points, because there's a very real chance someone else will take your spot and overtake you anyway. Let's have a look at what Shimoshi's hand looks like in the start of All Last here. It's pretty good. Unfortunately, not a lot of value. The South pair is really nice to see, but you don't want to be calling for 1,000 points here when you are in first place in All Last. You either want a big value hand to pull ahead by quite a lot, or just to end the game in no 10 so you can get your first place secure.
The problem is, if he ends in no 10 here and Nakano is the only player tenpai,
it's a 4,000 point swing.
Or if Shimoishi's the only player not tenpai, then either way it's 4,000 point swing, and that will put him in second place. So he can't actually do that. And as dealer, he has to show his tenpai first, so he doesn't have the luxury of seeing if the other players that he needs to be no 10 are or not.
That's very true. It's definitely a mistake I've made in the past, where you think you're invincible, and you think two players are tenpai, and it turns out only one is, and suddenly you're now 700 points behind. Yeah, that brought back memories. I've made that mistake before. Oh no. See if Shimoshi can make a hand out of this. Would definitely be a little bit concerned about reaching from that position, just because it would then make the bar so much lower for Nakano to overtake you. But we'll see. We'll see. As everyone else here is building their hands at a pretty amazing pace. Maybe this is too spicy, but if I were Minami, Minami needs points. Yeah, they need points. They can't just go through all simples and end the match. They need a little bit more than that. Take it back. I was like, I'm always tempted to say cut the 1 and the 3 and then try and add all simples into the hand. But we can still just draw the 4. So I don't know why I'm making that argument. Can always draw the 4 and cut the 1, so not even an issue. Or we draw the 2. Where's our value? Riichi, Pinfu, Dora 1.
8,200 point difference.
Yeah. I can see it overtaking Nakano. I can't see it overtaking Shimoishi. But then maybe 1 point's all we need. Or maybe we get that Sanshoku. Walk the 1, 2, 3 up to a 2, 3, 4. Or perhaps the 3, 4, 5 of characters down. It's a big ask, but it could happen.
So if Minami were to Tsumo, she needs a Mangon to get first place. And if she were to win directly from Shimoishi, she'd still need 5,200 in order to overtake Nakano.
I think it's interesting that Shimoishi, Shimoishi does now have a door in the hand, so it's not just 1,000 points if we do decide to call the South. I would be more inclined to consider that call if the opportunity arises now. So at least you're pulling ahead by 2,000, ideally 3,000 or something. At least there's more to it than just taking a big risk for not a lot of reward.
And it's a Dora with potential to use 2 Dora.
Exactly. I do like what Nakano's building, though. This could be a bit of an upset. If this hand manages to complete that potential pure sequence, we've got the all simples. I'm sure we could find a pin through there. Not quite sure what's going on in Kihara's hand. There's like 6 different things it could be, but I'm wondering which of them actually gets what they want from this.
Yeah, second Dora for Minami, and she was trying to decide whether to lock it in by discarding the 3 or not. Decides to take the more efficient East discard.
Oh, this is interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that Nakano shape was so like head scratching. What? It looks so complicated. She's still. This could be a 1 away with the 2-dot discard is probably the normal discard if it's not Dora.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, unfortunately, having the Dora just sitting there, you don't want to be the one to give someone Dora 3. Certainly not in all last when you're ahead. So you don't really ever want to play the Dora. But also,
it's okay. That's 1 away. That was the draw that he wanted. But also, it's a great shape. The 2-4-4-4 is a great shape if you don't have any other pairs. But he had 2 other pairs, which was what was making the decision difficult.
Yeah, that does make sense, and explains why we cut one of our pairs there. Okay.
And now Minami will lock in that Dora.
I can see it get called.
And Shimashi will call. Wait, this is a backdoor waiting for the south only. It needs the south tile to win the hand now.
But I think it's also, as you said, to Tenpai, by the way.
The Tenpai for
But I think it's also, as you say, just being Tenpai means that you don't get to lose a position from Nakano being the only other player in Tenpai, or being the only player not in Tenpai, as you said. Those Tenpai players are going to make a difference.
And Nakano, you're weighing the benefits of reach or not, and decides to go for it. The thing is that it was 1 away from a all concealed triples hand.
It was one Jenn Shanten, as they say.
Exactly. We don't get to 1 Jenn Shanten very often.
True, honestly, yeah.
And that's Shimoishi waiting for the south. And that's the Dora, which will be pawned by Minami, which is Tenpai waiting for the 7 character.
And that could be really interesting to Shimoishi, right? Seeing that there are now 2 players, Tenpai. Nakano's in reach, so we know. We know they're ready to win. But with that call...
Yeah, Dora pawn.
It might not be a Tenpai necessarily. It might just be changing who gets the last draw. Always worth considering as well. But
it's probably the Dora. I mean, there's so much value there. You can't think it's just to shift the last call.
Yeah, that's also very true.
It might be, but you can't think like that. I think.
Especially on all last, I don't think it's necessarily. Especially when you know their objective is going to be to win, right?
Yeah.
But yes,
you can switch to a 2-5-6 weight, or keep that middle 7 weight, and switches to the 2-5-6.
But end of the day, what I'm trying to get at is that you know.
So what's she gonna do? He's already given up. Yeah, he can't go for it. But what is safe though? His hand is so short.
It's a really good question.
The south.
Yeah, I mean south. Something, as I say, I do quite a lot, playing a live pair of dragons or wins.
Oh, there was the south that Shimoishi needed to win with. 6 bamboo. I think Minami has... I mean...
Would we have seen Kihara play the south, though, had we not already had it discarded first? I don't think so.
Maybe not, but it was at Tsumogiri, wasn't it? Was it from the hand?
It was a Tsumogiri, but at the same time, Kihara's not... to be fair, Kihara has nothing to lose, actually. They're in last place. They need to push something no matter what, because they don't lose anything more by losing more points.
And that's the draw for Nakano. Riichi Tanyo Tsumo Ipeiko. That will put him in first place.
Well played to Nakano. Congratulations for scoring 3 points for their team, as we see on the screen there. But still, Shimoishi with an incredible +2 for their team. Minami with +1. Sadly, Kihara's team does not score any points this game, but what a good game. What an interesting match. It felt really, really close.
Was really close and really exciting. And
yeah, I did not know who was going to be taking the victory there. And I was cheering for Minami. Like, Minami getting that sort of catching up near the end, right?
Yeah.
There was definitely a threat made. It didn't quite complete itself, unfortunately, but there definitely was a threat. Looking at the scores, I think none of our players are in the top now, but Team Alk, having scored 0, still dropping to second.
And
Tomozae getting into third place.
Tomozae Shoten was at the same. They were at the same table. So
okay. Yeah,
Shoten.
That's on me.
That was
the one with the Japanese flag.
That was Nakano. Yeah. So
yes.
Nakano taking first place, moves ahead of Aoki. BN Queen stays pretty much in the same position in that playoffs to round 1. So 4th through 7th place. And DD Studio also, so there are three players in the top 3 at that table. They're in the top 4 or so, but now they're in the top 3. But we won't see any of those teams. We'll see Aoki play one more time.
Yep, as you can see, we are 6 games into the event. We have 1 more game for you today. And 3, in fact, more tomorrow. But for the next game today, we have some amazing commentators to give you. We have Korak, and assuming that we just get a bit more time, hopefully we'll have a Dave too.
Well, half of us is here anyway.
Yeah, we did say 5, right? Where's Mr. Dave?
That is what you
said.
said.
You need to ping him or something.
Let's do that. But how are you doing, Korak? We haven't seen you in a whole week.
Kind of out of it a bit. Been doing a bunch of stuff today, so looking to cool down and watch some great Mahjong.
Yes.
Yeah, it sounds good.
It was a great game, actually. Like the game, that last hand was just so exciting. Everybody was going for exactly
yeah, I
what
did
they
get
needed.
to see that. I mean, anytime when you have, it's one of the most annoying positions. Your dealer in first in South 4, and everyone else is within the Mongansuma range. You feel you're going to drop to second, you just don't know how.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those situations where you feel you have to make the hand, you have to win the hand, but you're also your dealer, and you don't have anything to work with. We did have that chance of getting the South, but I don't think we would have seen the South come out. It was a Sumigiri discard, but only because the dealer cut theirs, right? So
right, dealer gave up on it. It was not a fun discard. When you see the Dorapole and you're in first, this gives you your excuse, but then that was drawn with what, 1 extra draw after that? So it was super late on that sumo.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, tough, but still, honestly, in this format, it's 1 point difference. It's not the end of the world to get second place here.
Yeah,
it's not like there's a massive
0. Yeah, you don't have the big Oka bonus we've seen in other tournaments, but the 1 point, they add up over time, but you're generally fine getting second place. It's just frustrating when you're clearly in first and you have that last dealer turn.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I do know from my own experience that oftentimes you can qualify for the finals if you can get second place in every game. If everyone else is getting firsts and fourths and just getting second, it adds up.
Second is positive in almost any format, and that's something a lot of people forget, is if you have 3 people that just go at it, pushing everything, they just sit back and add up those points, you'll end up with a big result at the end.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the only format I can't think of it as when you've got a sort of, I guess, like a sports changing UMA, depending whether your score is above or below starting. Sometimes at that point, sometimes seconds can be negative. But as you say, almost always, and even in that format, because usually if you're second, you've scored more points than you've lost, it's going to be positive. But yeah, hopefully a really fun set. I'm looking forward to this because it's a different player base. It's almost like a different vibe sometimes, looking at the way people play. And I know that we were just coming back from a finals, so obviously everyone's going to be super hardwired in the finals to be going for first place.
Sure, I mean, we'll see a lot of the players that play in Sankei Shimbun as well. Of course, that's a women's only league, so it won't be all the same players, but a lot of those same players are on these teams, especially with a lot of the same sponsors. Shall we go ahead and look at the players for game 2? With the 3 of us?
Absolutely. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, we've been
Yeah.
stalling for Dave, but he's not showed up. So let's go ahead and just jump in here.
Yeah. All
I
right.
would definitely recognize Alke from the Saikyosen Main Cup. Obviously, they have a mixed gender team this time, I assume.
Yep.
Because in the EC will be Tsubasa Kihara from JPML.
Yep. And the
Then we
Saucy,
have-
this is actually on a full JPML table.
It is, yeah.
Masahiro
It's always
Sura
interesting
playing for
sometimes.
Albon. Yeah, Sura actually also works for Albon, and he's playing for Albon this time. Ayano Furukawa from JPML playing for the number 9 team, and Ryo Tojo, of course, former M Leaguer, playing for the I don't know how to pronounce this, Orfeu team.
Ryo Tojo, honestly, a star from the other events we've been casting as well.
Yeah.
A name that has constantly come up because she's performed very, very, very well in the Saikyosen Main Cup.
Yeah, she was in the playoffs finals for the individuals. So, all right.
I tend to be uncultured when it comes to. I should really catch up on that, like sort of the scene in Japan. But if I recognize a name, then they stood out somewhere.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I feel like that too because there's so many new players. I mean, JPML has 1,000 pros now, so there's a lot of players even within JPML that I don't always know.
Oh, that's incredible! 1,000 players. That's so cool.
It's crazy. Well, do you want to stick around for game 2 until if Dave shows up, he can jump in, or are you okay?
I don't mind. I had other plans, but the people cancelled on me, so I'm good.
Okay. All right, let's get started. I'll let you guys take over, and I will get some other stuff prepared for later today.
Okie dokie. Well, correct. Looking forward to this. Good luck, everyone on the table.
Yeah, you see everyone very tense. And the polite bow, but you can see that these are not, hey, let's just have some fun. These are serious things. Especially that. Look at that right there.
The other thing I think to keep in mind is it's been a month, right, since the first session. So people who were sort of in the swing of it, maybe like playing every week, they've had a whole month to think about their games, to sort of let those nerves build up.
Well, it's not just that, but it's just you haven't played with these people in this format for such a long time. You always question what's kind of the recovery period. Oh, that just Tempai.
Yes.
Are we just gonna double Riichi? No, Dama's here. Wants the 1, 2, 3 Sanshku shift.
Yeah, everyone here is really fast. This table's decided to. Okay, maybe not everyone.
Well, I mean, that's a Kokoshi. I will not
For
object to that. Nice little Honitsu, form on pair up. Could have cut the 1, 2 there.
Yeah, I think the goal is the 1, 2, 3 Sanshoku. You need to draw the 1 of characters there, but that will then guarantee 2 extra hand to this hand. Actually, it might guarantee.
Ooh, 8, and I would
outside
always cut
well.
1, 2. I
Yeah, no,
want
this
to
is
go
where
8, 2. No, it's 1 through the Sanshku. I don't care.
I guess Chanta is now doable as well. If we did get that Itsu draw, Chanta Sanshoku. Well,
I mean, it's worth a lot potentially, but at the same time, just new
there-
it's fine.
just some more. No,
Yeah,
310 at reach.
yes. If you are going to do this, you need to 410 Riichi this. At the same time, I would be fine with double Riichi Sumo Dora.
Yeah, honestly, fair. Yeah. So we don't gain that much from the 310 Pinfu.
Yeah,
Specifically,
Sumo
310 Pinfu was
Sanshku
3
Dora. I
tiles.
mean, if we get in Ura, then I guess that's Hanemon, but at the same time, I just feel we've sold this hand so far down.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, well, what about the Ishunt and Kokushi Muso?
Well,
I mean,
yes.
that would get your attention.
Being in reach, we have a player who's locked into discarding what they draw. Maybe there's a horrible story
not just
here.
Riichi, 410 Riichi.
True. I do like chat. There are levels I'm not ready for. I mean, I would say, honestly, usually don't be afraid of 310. Like, that's not a bad thing, necessarily. Sometimes it happens, and sometimes the 310 weight is better than other weights you can pick up.
Yes, it just double Riichi was turned down to take this, and I kind of want to see this getting punished. Don't have any
Yeah,
ill will
honestly.
towards Sura, but at the same time, this may be a little too greedy.
Yeah, we have the orphans. We have the half flash as well, the closed half flash. So what are we missing from this? 9-pin and the
Oh, that's the
south.
fold. Gives up the one. Not gonna fight this.
Yeah. The sad thing about the orphan's hand there is we do see 3 of the souths in our dealer's hand. Kihara there holding 3 of them. But imagine the next draw was south. No, okay.
If that last draw is south, you just cry.
Yeah, I would. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, that is also Tempai. It would be Riichi Nomi if it's taken. Could also go one so here if you want to kind of push this forward. But
Yeah,
don't
the one
take
so
it.
would
And that is the
enable
plan.
all symbols as well.
Now I see the fold feels like it was the right play. Oh, that's just Tempai. This is
It's just
four
Tempai.
so. Or you could take the one so and wait on 3 so, or you take the 2 and wait on pay and 4 so. Will Dama here with Menhon.
See, here's the thing. If there wasn't another reach on the table, maybe I guess there's no way to know they were doing a 3-turn reach. So maybe they
No,
are
how
playing a little
often
bit
is
more
a
differently.
turn, 3 reach?
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, when you've got that amount of value, I can definitely see an argument, especially when you see, okay, only one of the door out, but still.
Well, oftentimes it's just a garbage Riichi, which is
Yeah,
how the rest of the table is pretty much reading this.
yeah. But now with 2 door out, I might be more tempted to take this reach, you know? Odds are, especially now you've proven door is safe, maybe you just decide they have no value and now's the time to go in, right?
Well, I think the decision here is fishing for a 5 so for the
Yeah, that would
potential
enable
Itzy
Itsu in the
upgrade.
3-sided way.
This is a
That's fair.
Sanshigu upgrade, but you don't have a pair is the issue.
Yeah. Okay, huge draw if this hand is going to ever finish, but no, we're
It's
folding.
not. You've made your decision at this point.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Another Manzu, but that's not it. It needs that 1-4. At this point, if you get the 4, you'll gladly take the Sumo.
Yeah. No, I think at that point, when she made the 3-turn reach, I would be more tempted. I would just take whatever comes, honestly. Gee, how many 1s and 4s remain in it at this point? I think we've seen most of them already drawn, sadly.
Well, this is Tempai. You can go 3 so Tonki. You can go 5-8 with a Pinfu. Could also make the decision whether Riichi or not. I mean, I just throw the stick in, toss the 3 out. The 3
think
does
that's
not look good just because there are so many Suji that have cleared already, so there aren't that many left.
yeah.
But at the same time, when I see this many things pass, my genuine concern is, especially on the earlier Riichi, was it just a stupid G toy and I can't really defend against it anyway? Oh, just Sumo. Okay, 3 so. Goes to the Sun so and Sumo. Sumo, Tanya, Dora 1. Wait, no
When you know,
Dora.
you
That is
know.
the Dora actually up there, not the Dora indicator, is a Sumo
Yes.
Tanya.
Yes, for anyone tuning in, when we see the tile in the top left corner, what that really means is that there is 1 less 9 of pins, because that is our indicator. It's a very easy mistake to make, especially if you're used to playing sort of
Online, where it just
in-person sports,
always
just seeing the
shows
tile. Yeah.
the indicator, or even live. It's very
Mm.
rare to see the Dora itself, except on some broadcast.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's at least one online client that does it, but you can disable that, and so I'm pretty sure everyone who plays Mahjong properly on that client does.
Yes, it's generally considered kind of a new player assistant, but ooh, I like this one too.
Oh yes, Honored
One so
Susei.
kind
I
of an
mean,
overlap here with a 2 so, but if you can get it, it's a great shape. This is a messy Pinfu, has a floating East Dora. Another 2. This actually is a 2-2-2-2 3-4-5-8-9.
yeah, it's one of those situations where I feel I would hesitate to count it, even though right now the 2 doesn't help you. But I guess you could easily turn it into a pair and a sequence.
Well, you
or even
want to
just a
turn it into an
triple.
Itsu, and you have
Yes,
to
ideally.
keep the 2-3-4-5 and then the 2-2-2 as the potential shapes for it. So that's why you don't
Yeah.
con. If you didn't have an Itsu, I would honestly just take it now.
it might be one of those situations where maybe at Shanten, if we haven't drawn all, there's a 6.
Ishan 10. Now
You know, I was about to say, if
7,
we
and now
hadn't
you
drawn
won.
the Itsu side, yeah, I know. But in an ideal world, though, if we get that 7, we can have a nice 1-4-7 weight. Would not be complaining about that one bit. Needing a specific tile to make that happen, but would not be complaining about it one bit. Hey. That's a third pet.
Well,
Oh,
okay.
there it is!
Ask and ye shall receive.
So,
Riichi
1-4-7.
Nomi right now, but would be Riichi Itsu on the 1. Yeah, there's no Pinfu because of all those 2s. You can't use it as a pair. Must be the Onko in this hand. Close, but that's not it. 6, a miss.
By my count, I think there's 1-7, 2 4s, and all 4 1s in the wall.
That's
so odds are
Ishan 10 with a Dora. You could even throw didn't 6 come out from the Riichi?
it sure did.
I'd throw the 6 then. This is a wider shape for any Peiko or even a Rion Peiko, but I think I'd just go Chitoy from here. 3 pin, not a great floater. It is 1 chance of all the 5s.
Yeah, if I had to predict this hand, I think we're going to see a sumo. I think we're going to see a sumo on the 1 specifically.
Well, let's see if that's the commentator curse or commentator's blessing.
I'm just playing the odds. There are more 1s than there are 4s and 7s.
Hatsu is a miss. Yeah, there go the 5. So that is safety for the rest of the hand.
Oh, there's one of them.
There's your 1.
But not be played.
There's a 1, but the Sozu, of course.
This is where me saying I'm playing the odds. Suddenly the odds change right as I say that. Of course.
And now the 6 Onkos. You have a 5 and a 6 Onko, but has been just cutting away from the 5 pins. 9 so pair up. There is a way back in, but it is unlikely. Oh, that just Tempai. If you dare shove the East, I would not take this.
No. Well, the pass we've got.
4's already come out, hasn't it? Yeah, 4's come out post Riichi.
Yeah. 4 safe, 6 mana safe.
I mean, if you draw the 2-5, I'd slam on the door Tonki, but the 3-4 Shampoo cutting the door is rough.
Redrawn. So close to a winning tile, but not quite there.
5. You can shift this down if you want, but you might also just cut the 3 or the 4. We'll shift it down, it looks like, throwing the 8.
The 8 is safe, thankfully. Ah, there's another 1!
Well, they were in the wall, but the problem is
I was getting excited.
4 people can draw them.
Yes, I was getting excited over the number of 1s that were available, but turns out what I was doing was
3. Still not it. It feels really
safe.
bad.
It is safe to the reach, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
They play it.
I thought it's Fuji with the 6.
Yeah, it was played afterwards. Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, yeah, there it is. It was Fuji Riichi, that's why it's safe, and someone threw it.
But it was a reach player through it, I think, right? Yeah, it was a reach player through it. But yeah, either way.
7 is double 1 chance with the 5s and the 6s. 8 pin is a miss. Well, there's your Dora. Any considerations for getting back in this hand officially die now?
Yeah. I'm desperately racking my brain thinking, is there anything we could possibly dream? There's a 7, the last 7.
That would deal in.
Yeah, it's not going to be played. No reason to. Not in East 2. The one thing you do not want to do early in the game is deal into a massive hand. It does mean that the tiles for this possible Itsu here are dying out.
Then it's so late here, may even just fold out.
I would probably in this situation, yeah. The East there just sort of curses you a little bit, unfortunately.
Well, the East forces you to go to Dorotonki. The question is it worth shoving the 7 for the Dorotonki this late?
Yeah.
You have to assume at least one of them has been drawn by the other 2 players that are clearly folding. There's the Chi. There's going to be the deal in. We'll take it. It is Riichi Nomi with 4 aura.
But you know what? I did say the one would be involved somehow. I did not expect it to be involved as the Ura indicator,
Well,
but
see,
there we go.
That's the one you were looking for.
That is how definitely one of the games I managed to watch last week. Had the pleasure of enjoying it. Someone getting a very early Ura 4 flip. I think it was early Ura 3. This tops it by an extra one.
Well, at the same time, going from Mongon to Mongon with the extra Dora.
That's true. But either way, I would not be complaining about a Mongon.
You'll take Mongon on a Riichi Nomi. I
Exactly.
will be glad for that. Ooh, nice little hand here. Has an East pair. Can potentially accept a Dora. Do the Vorsanshku route in this hand. Oh, there's
We
a
did see the East get
call.
called. I was wondering if they were going to see that early East get called, but we did.
Gonna hold the one for possible 1, 2, 3 Sanchugu route. Maybe go to the dragons. Just goes in with the first one. Now, interesting here with 3 so, and the 3 being the door indicator, there's actually a wall off, so you might end up seeing someone with a 4 or 5 shape that's just going to be stuck on it for a long time.
Or as you were saying, this 1, 2, 3
or
sand
the
shock.
10 shot is just never coming.
Yeah.
But it's definitely one of my most hated shapes, is the 1, 2 where the 3 is door indicator.
Yeah, I do think that maybe we'll see them give up on the Sanshoki.
Gives up on it, says, Pinfu's fine now.
It's the least efficient shape, and we've got a pair of the 3 pin. So
and
maybe that's our
overlap. When you have a 1, 2, 4, 5, you're definitely using the Dora, so you just cut the 1, 2. There's your value. This is a pretty wide Ishan 10.
Yeah, what an amazing.
One, I'm not going to do anything here. Thinks about it and throws it back. 1 pin, not one of the tiles is going to help. Needs something in Manzu here. 2 pin pair up. I'm going to shift this around with a 3. 5 pairs up.
Guess. So here's a question about sort of when you see someone cut, say, a pair of 3, how often is it that someone's got a shape like 2, 2, 3, 3?
It's something you're considering but not relying on. Now Tempai on the 3. This is now Ishan 10 for Reach Pin Fudor 1. Haku pair up can call and go, cutting 2 at 8. There is one Haku that's already been discarded, so not as good as it might look.
Got excited there for a second. Almost Tempai, but not quite. 5's not good enough.
Ooh, 4 pulls the door in here. Also upgrades the shape in Sozu to Ryankan.
Yeah, it's always awkward when you've got like a 4, 6, 8 and 4's the Dora, right? Because you really want the middle of your Ryankan to be the Dora, but there's a chance you
draw
still
the 7. I would still slam this and not even really think much about it.
Yeah, that's fair. Huge draw there.
And this is the problem when you make a call like this, is now you just have nothing to defend against if anyone gets close. Can't upgrade to perfect Ishan 10, potential 2 Dora.
Yeah, Furukawa managed to sneak in the Tempai, but they're waiting on the 3 of characters only. So it's... Well, there is a 3 of characters right here, but that 2-4 may not be the weight we're looking for. Tempai, though.
North is going to be a miss. Doesn't do anything. 9, pretty useless. His hand is Ishan 10, but it's so bad. You need the 3 which we know is dead, and the 5 This is one where even if you take the 3 and deal in on it, you don't even feel that bad. Because it's just the... Oh, there's the Sumo. Will be the 2 Han, because that is double East, I believe.
Exactly so. Meaning Furukawa manages to...
all. Nice little pickup for Furukawa to extend not extend the lead, but get within 500.
Ah, yes. And this hand will have an extra 300 points. So, either way, Furukawa just win a second one on the bounce. They will be in first.
That is not the hand you want to look down to.
No.
You have the one Dora, and you're like, okay, decent Pinzu shape, and oh. And then you sort it, and you look at the Pinzu shape, and you go, wow, this is awful. This
if
is
I really want to
almost
dream about it,
Tokushi potential, but no.
see, if I really want to be hopeful and optimistic, I see a Sandshoku there. I see 345 or 456. But that's it. And then it's going to leave some luck.
Yes, everything can require a lot of effort in the hand. That has a Hatsu pair. That may just be a call and go. And interesting situation here because you have multiple people with the lone East Dora. You're incentivized to hold it for a long time because it's going to be Yakuhai. We see the 8-mon is passed here.
That's a fourth
Actually,
pair.
moving it kind of towards Chito or even 345 Sanshuku. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, those draws are not helping.
Okay, this is a pair as well. That's a third pair for Tojo as well. I know 3 pairs is not enough to...
Just going to throw that back. 7. Oh, great. And your upgrade is a 3579. Not ideal.
Calling 3579 an upgrade. Oh, it doesn't feel good.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sanjugu, we're going Sanjugu now. 345.
Yeah, definitely one of the things to think about when you've got a really, really, really bad hand is that because you've got a bad hand, you actually have a lot more room to try and aim for value, right? You can try and build some Yaku into your hand.
Because but at the same time, when it's that bad and you're getting close to the end of the first row, I just kind of want to start throwing up mid tiles and start saving.
I mean, I do agree.
Don't trust it.
I do agree, but at the same time, like it gives you almost the freedom, right? Like, you know what, I can go for this. It probably won't happen.
You could be greedier with it. At the same time, you need to be able to give yourself an escape hatch.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's Ipeco. That is a really annoying draw.
Yeah, having to get rid of that.
It is not called. Oh, and fills the Rionman immediately afterwards.
Okay, Dora 2, and potentially double East.
Yes.
Suddenly our dealer for Rikara is...
on, if you see it. But I think it's not coming out here. It's probably just going to be held till the end of the hand. Hatsu pair, not taken. Could have had 10 bypasses it. I think I would have taken that one.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly.
And the consideration is Sura is just so far behind that 1,000 doesn't do much. But you know what also doesn't help? Paying out 4,000 in sumo.
Yeah. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just accept a small W to avoid the L. But yes.
Well, it's a difference between winning and concept. Any poker player, or especially, will be familiar with this opportunity cost. That, yeah, I did this, but if I didn't do it, what would have happened?
Yeah, honestly, that's Riichi in a nutshell in a lot of ways. That's pair number 4, but I guess we got that East.
Yeah, just because, well, the plan here is call the East. Ideally, you chi the 1-4, but now you see 2 1s and a 4 just in that bond alone. So the shape is not great. Might even pull in the 2 or 3 so if it comes.
Honestly, I think at this point, if you're going making the play for the East, you might as well call other things. Assuming that
calling things. Oh, but it doesn't matter.
7 pairs manages to win.
Yep, just a Joy Nomi.
Yeah, no reach. Just 2-hand 25.
That's one of those where you deal it and go, wait, what's this on the table? Because you don't see it very often.
Yeah, exactly.
The last time I had this, because it's 225, is it? Wait a second. So that's a 150. Oh, I know what that one is.
But I do like that, especially when you've got like a weight on, say, like a 5. Like, obviously, probably Kiharu's looking for a good tile to weight on.
Yeah, you're looking for an upgrade, but you're not going to turn points. Plus the home buzz, the win just comes out.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of times, sometimes I also take a swing like that when I'm folding, I guess. When I've decided, you know what, this hand is not worth attacking with, I'm just going to, the second I draw a tile I don't like, I'm playing one of my safe pairs.
But, well, there's an East pair up. Can accept a door potentially here. We'll go to the 8th here. This is a very good hand. You have the Dora pair, great shapes. This needs the 3-7 and 9-pin pretty badly. This is a decent hand. 4 helps immensely. This is now Ishan 10. Yeah, it's Kutsuki, so double floater. 9. Another 9. Look at that pawn.
Yeah.
That's tragedy.
Yeah. 2, 4, 6, 8. That's a shape we don't appreciate.
No, it's one we are all familiar with. At least with the 2, 4, 6, 8, there are ways oftentimes to call it down for Tanya. It's the 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 that I really despise.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
2 will accept the penchant. 3 can do some shifting, but could also edge the Itsu.
I don't hate Hitchinitsu here.
I
I
kind of
would
like
I would
Tuso here, but yeah, gonna go Tanya. No, you can't really go Tanya shift with a 1-1-1-3. There's a Dora draw. We'll definitely be glad to take that as a better floater. For a perfect fill here. Now the question is, how are we going to get value out of this and want to go Tanya with it? 2 connects here. You're to the 7 and potentially the 1, 2, and so. 6 pair up. This is now a different Ishan 10. Yeah, because you need the 3 and the 7. It's not ideal.
Yeah, a lot of low value hands this game. We always had that one massive
Or
hand
the
from
perfect draw. Could not
There it
ask
is.
for anything better here.
So
And that is your Ishan 10. Can cut a pair or the 1, 2. 1, 2 feels like the normal decision. There's the East. Of course, we've seen a pair cuts. You know it's not going to be useful here. Oh, and there's a nice little hand.
That's going to be a reach.
Dora 1. I think it
I think
Pinfu.
in the north seat, right? So the north is
if it's
Yakuhai.
north, it's definitely not. No, that is the south seat. So.
Oh, then it's Pinfu as well. Okay.
Yes.
The 9 comes back. But at this point, I don't think we keep it. I don't think it's worth it anymore.
Well, the question is, what else are you throwing into that pond?
Yeah, the other question is
give
reach,
up,
right?
I'd honestly throw the 4. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just
honestly,
don't believe in this hand at all.
Sometimes it's better just to not deal in. Just go next hand. It's fine.
Ooh, that's an annoying draw. Right by Dora, but shoves it and deals in. Reach Pinfu, Dora 1.
I'm not nerfed at this time.
No Aura, but 3,900. And the Riichi stick back will get back over 30k. And a real dogfight for first with Sura in deep last. Of course, she's trying to get some points out of this, but you need to make some hands now. Now you have to get a little greedier. As I said earlier, I would have taken the 1k just because I didn't want to sit and wait to get sumoed. At this point, you kind of have to build value.
Yes, exactly. I always like cheering for the underdog because I want to see someone get a reversal, a comeback. So good luck, Sura. But there is an amazing battle for first place here.
Well, the 1-1 pair actually isn't the worst draw here, but it feels like Riichi Nomi most likely. We have the West pair. This is the West feet and a Haku pair.
Also, just the 4th pair in that hand.
Toy double Yakuhai, an option, of course. 7 fills the 5, 6, 7, 8. Now with a Ryanman 7, 8.
Yeah, I think Chitoi's the play here for Furukawa. Interesting.
There's the 9. It's going to get pawned. Doesn't look like Chitoi to me.
Wait, no, I was looking at the wrong player clearly. must be Sura who I was thinking about, because Furukawa is doing something incredibly different. Yes, exactly. With 2 Yakuhai pairs.
And another pair here. Might even go 9-so or Haku. I like 9-so a lot more. But goes with the Haku, and that's going to be another pawn. Now Ishan 10 has 2 confirmed Yakuhai. Well, 1 confirmed Yakuhai, waiting for the West to be the other, of course.
Yes.
Three, perfect fill here, but it just makes his hand so cheap. Well,
yeah, I guess
we ever cut the 9 there?
I think I probably wouldn't have considered cutting the 4. I might have cut the 1 instead, just because I was being a bit frayed, but then I guess you have more options later on. I don't know, I expect to reach his hand. But yeah, the nine of character, sorry, 9 of bamboo in that situation, I think it's
You'd be
fair.
locking in the 7 pair, which isn't ideal, but you don't really want the 7, 8, 9. You want the Dora.
Yeah, exactly.
There's the last Haku. Tune is a miss. But you're a little worried about someone that's called twice. You don't see the tune. Thinks about it, eventually shoves.
Yeah, there definitely is a Yakukai that's being waited on, but not the Chun, thankfully for them. We're going to see it being played here too, I imagine. Yep, there it is.
Says, thank you very much. Makes this easier for me. You could even go 1-1 or even 4-1. There's a 9. I mentioned this can call, and the question is which weight? We'll take
Can I go for the wider weight? This is for Furukawa, of course. So huge value isn't necessarily needed at this stage in the game, as much as a win rate.
Another pair up with a 6. There's Tempai.
Hey, Tempai.
We'll Dama this. No Yaku. Oh, doesn't matter. There's the Sumo. Saves 1,000 on the stick.
As we cut to the crowd getting excited. I wonder what they were saying. But yes, either way, as you say, yeah, the 1,000 points saved, which is very significant at this stage in the game, right?
Yes, when a game's this close, it adds up very quickly.
It is now Sura's last dealership.
Yeah, and Sura has to win this.
Luck.
It feels like a must-win hand. I mean, you can get Hanemon and Mangan on the other 2 hands, but good luck.
Yeah. But speaking about things being freeing, like when you're in last place and everyone is so far away from you, I would not be that worried about, trying to get away with it, maybe pushing something exciting. Obviously, speed is important.
Well, the other part is just how the tournament is structured. You want to be pushing here.
Yeah, exactly. There is no...
Because the only thing you lose by just dying and taking a -60 is a tiebreaker potential later.
Exactly. Only position matters. So I'm looking forward to seeing a comeback here. And maybe the half flush is the way of doing it for Sula. We'll see.
Hatsu, decent floater. Might go hold into there as well. 6 connects to the 7. Great shapes here. Did a bit of overlap on the 6 with a 2, 4, 4, 5, 7, 8. And this connects with the 6, but that is not the ideal draw. Might even cut north. Cuts the 7 mon, just going for it.
Yeah, I mean, Furukawa's in first place, but they need some value from somewhere. Too close.
You don't figure 1,000 is going to hold up over 3 hands.
Exactly.
Oh, 6, 7,
nice
8.
draw
Now
for here.
Ishan 10. Kind of an ugly one because of the Sozu shape. Or the 1,
yeah,
2,
the overlap.
2, 3, 4.
The overlap and needing the 3, it's a bit rough.
You really need the 3 is the issue. Well, that is temp. I will not take it. I actually like this a lot.
Yeah, I think that's fair because it sets us up for a 2-5 weight at the very worst in the bamboo.
Or even we pair up the 1 or the 4, and there's our pair right there.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
1, 2, 2, 3, 4 shape is really wide if it's headless.
Yeah. Come on, Sura, you can do this. You can pull this game back. Not with an East, you can't.
Namon floaters, not going to do anything here. South, we'll hold on to it for now, but clearly wants to edge towards this 5, 6, 7 Sanshoku. WRPM tries to go Honitsu. Pretty obvious at this point, though.
Yeah.
When I see a pawn like that, my thoughts are it's either Kokoshi or Honitsu or Junchan. And it's usually not Junchan.
Usually, yeah.
Occasionally
I think there is definitely merit.
Chitoy, but really unlikely. Ishanta now for Chitoy, just as I speak of it.
Yeah, different player, but same Yaku, as we were talking about.
West,
but yeah, I don't hate being unsettled sometimes. It's nice to try and be tricksy and saddle sometimes, but there's definitely a lot of value in making the other players slow their own hands down to play around you, right?
Well, and the other part is your dealer.
Yes.
That they have to be scared of you.
Exactly.
Because everyone else is considering, well, what's the worst they get? Dealing into a fourth place dealer is really, really bad.
Yeah, unfortunately for our dealer, they still are relying on that 3 of bamboo, and it has not arrived.
Ishunten with the 5 draw. Possibly Peiko as well as the Chito Ishun. 5. Oh no.
In a well, we kept the 6 of characters there.
I
It
kind of
wouldn't be
like
so
just cutting
bad,
the 1
but
so here.
we've cut the 6 already. That's the problem. It's a 310 risk. Not a huge one, but if we get like a 369 weight and a 310 one at that, I'm feeling really, really downtrodden.
Everything's going to feel. Oh, well, that's a draw.
Ooh, okay.
Now, Ishunten for Pinfu Ipeiko Sanshoku.
Yeah, getting all
Oh,
three of
well,
those.
there's your Tempai.
All right, there we go.
Yeah,
Very
it does
good.
go with the
Riichi
1
Pinfu.
and gets into it like this. Riichi Pinfu door 1, 3 6-pin. And that is going to be a Chi. Now, Ryanshanten, I guess. No, Ishunten.
Yeah, Fukawa's one away. But at the same time, one away for a half flash. There is definitely value there.
Oh,
and
needs that 9 so badly, though.
yeah.
Man, you just cut pay here, I think. Nope, folds out, says nope.
You know what?
Oh,
I
Ishunten for Suanko.
Oh.
That's Tempai. I mean, you have to chase here, don't you?
Yeah, no.
Will Riichi, I imagine.
Is good.
Yeah, and if they would have been pushed, could be Tempai now, but folding out. So, oh no! Oh, the 7.
Yeah, I do think 4-7 is a much better weight than 3-6 here, unfortunately, with Tojo carrying, I believe, 3 3s and 2 6s.
7. Well, that's Tempai.
A 3-pin deals in.
Well, I think you take the 7 here.
Oh, yeah. The really greedy option is to cut the Tuso pair, but that's really greedy, right? There isn't much time left either.
I don't think with 2 Dora, I think you just take Tempai.
I think that's reasonable, yeah.
Yeah, we'll throw it in, and it does throw in. This is the cheaper side, Riichi Pinfu Ipeiko. Or is that no, that's just no Pinfu. I think that's the north seat.
Yeah. So unfortunately for Sura, their dealership has passed. There's a really nice reach from them. They had it, they gave it a go. But Kihara manages to take second place. Not quite first, but we are very close as we go into South 3. You could not have asked for a closer game.
Third place now. Furukawa is in first, and South 3 has a Haku pair, couple other dragons. You always dream Daisongen, but the rest of the hand feels very Chanta.
Yeah, I think 4
Except
dragons
for that
is not
4
enough,
5 that the hand was in front of the entire time we were looking at it.
Yeah, you always dream about the big 3 dragons hand, but
well, about that, Hatsu pair up here.
You see them there, yeah, exactly.
Haku pair up here. So yeah, about that Daisongen.
Yeah. I think with a 4 start, we're going to be seeing one or more of these get played around about draw 4, draw 5.
Oh, well.
They're probably all going to get calls. We'll see.
If he didn't have that door, I just want to go Honitsu with it with the floating 5, so it's fine. Just go regular. Call the Yakuhai, move forward.
See, I have a
I might not even need to call it. May end up using it as the pair.
Yeah, Tojo has a choice, right? They could go for a Itsu if they really, really want to go for value, or they could just speed this hand along. It's really interesting.
Well, again, the score dynamics are very important here, because Tojo, especially, if you win 2 HOD, you're still in 3rd place in your South 4 dealer turn. This is a really tough decision. I'd go 7-8, but I'm greedy.
I
No,
would also go 7-8. I think in the dots there. But that Tojo's
just
unlike
makes
us.
the better value here. Riichi Sumodora 1 would be overtake to first, going into all last. It is perfectly reasonable.
Yeah. I think the other big thing to keep in mind is it is South 3, so maybe just getting a more guaranteed win is going to be huge. An interesting draw for our dealer here. We know where the other two Green Dragons are, but that now means that they are not going to be seen by Tojo.
Barring a pair up and end up cutting it from the rest of the hand, but yes, does feel that way.
Yeah, with two players having a pair each, it could get played, but I don't see Furukawa playing it.
Goes to the south. 6 connects, upgrades the shape there, and Sozu, the 7 here creates another Ryanman, but I don't even like this that much.
No, if we're not going to go for the Itsu, having the 6,
Yeah.
7, 7, 8, 9, I
He's
don't
trying
feel
to
great.
figure out if there's any Peiko shift, and the answer is no, and eventually realizes and throws it back.
Yeah. Ooh, interesting fill there.
Yeah, Phil's one of the worst
But
shapes, but it does move the hand forward. 5 as a floater isn't great. We'll throw it back. 4, that's a miss. 9, well, there's your pair up. Might go Hatsatsu here. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, is that's how it comes out. As if a
and it
pair
is going to be
happens elsewhere,
called.
there's such an incentive to go Pinfu here. Now, the question is, do you greed for the Daisongen, or even Shosongen, or even Honitsu? You can't even go Forso here, but I feel that's really weak. We'll cut
Yeah,
the 8 here as kind of halfway between. You don't give up on the Shosongen. You can still accept a Dora, but you're not expecting much.
I think that's very, very
Or a
fair.
pull, that is not the tile you want from this hand.
No.
9 pin isn't going to do much. The 3, that's
Okay,
Tempai.
Senpai.
We'll just wait on the Dora now. 5 so Kanchan. And you just got the 2 here for sure. This is Ishan 10. You hope to connect to that Dora. If you connect elsewhere, you may end up throwing and dealing in.
Yeah, 2 Dora available right now. But I could definitely see 2 players waiting on the Dora.
They could hedge towards the Itsu and will do so.
Sorry, did I say 2? There's only 1 Dora available. I take that back. But still.
Karagiri on the 3 pin. 6. Well, you just got the 9, I feel here. If you get another 6, you upgrade to possible Tadyao. 8 pair up. This is
Well,
Shumpo, and that's
Dora's
going
going
to
to get
deal
played.
in. Riichi's throwing the Dora. Will deal in for 2 Han.
Yeah, dealer 2 hand no less, but yeah, just green Dora 1. But Furukawa now taking, well, more confirming first
Expanding
place.
the lead, and more importantly, we have a tie for second now.
Oh yes, I asked Genevieve earlier. So it is seat priority, not a shared tie system. So
I feel seat priority doesn't make sense unless you have a Gariyame.
yeah, honestly, yeah.
It's
But at the same
really
time,
punishing to be that last dealer, and then you can't just say, hey, I'm taking my points and getting out of here.
yeah, I think that's very fair. But at the same time, it'd be weird, right? If you had like 0.3 of a point or half a
I mean,
point.
you'd call it half a point. Wouldn't it get weird
But
if there's
if it
like
was
a
a three-way
three-way
tie, you'd be
tie?
0.3 of a point, right? Yeah.
Yes. I mean, Mahjong players are used to math, but at the same time, they're used to rounding.
True. Yeah. Then again, I guess like this is sort of accessible to anyone, right? You don't have to be a math.
No, yeah, the concept of first getting 3, second getting 2, third getting 1, last getting 0, not that complicated here.
Yeah, I like it simple. It's nice, and we all know you can have a degree and still make incredibly simple math errors. That's definitely something that.
Oh yeah, I've said many times before, the people I know that are the worst head arithmetic are mathematicians and math teachers.
Yeah, we do with like algebra and formulae. You don't deal with numbers. Who does that? Actual
Yeah,
numbers.
that's like accounting.
Ooh, suddenly I see a 678 sand shocker here for
I
Suda.
see it as well. The question is how greedy, because the 5's a decent floater here, and the 1-3 is in a great shape. So yeah, we'll keep the 5's a floater.
Yeah, if I'm Sura though,
In
you need to
pair
score
up.
20,000 points in 2 hands. You have no dealerships remaining, and you have no real penalty for not doing it
Yeah,
because you're
just go
already in
for
the.
it.
Exactly. I think it's perfectly fine to be greedy.
No, the score system that is being used, it's just a different dynamic than a plus minus.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll often see this online where fourth is especially punishing or first is especially rewarding, where
Mm.
someone who's just stuck in that position says, you know what, I just gonna go for broke.
Yeah. Except that, like, even though I'm getting excited about that, everyone else is speeding on ahead. Kihara 1 away.
Well, we're getting towards second row. You figure hand should be getting a little closer and just going max greed here, cutting that safe dial. Again, if
Yeah,
we deal
honestly,
in
from
here, you
Sura's
don't
perspective.
really lose much. As said before, it's really just a tiebreaker. Forso moves us towards a Sanshoku route with 4-5-6.
Yeah, I feel like if Sura. It's a really good question. If you're Sura, right, and you get to South 4, do you consider going for something like a Yakuin only game for the very final hand? Because you have your win condition, right? And you have nothing to gain by just winning a cheap hand. So, are we going to see some crazy pushes? I certainly would be trying to force some kind of Yakuman. I have no idea which, but
Yeah, it very much depends on the situation here. If you get Furukawa to repeat, then if you're Sura, it's fine. On the other hand, if you're Furukawa, you honestly kind of just want to move your dealer turn and be in first in South 4.
yeah, absolutely. Do you like this 6 draw? It
Yeah,
helps
I
us
like the shift. It
maybe
lets you
shift
get
the
a
1-3.
right. You can even call for Sanchiku if you want. The 1-3 is not a great shape.
Yeah, if I was Sura, I would not be calling for Sandshocker because I'd be way too greedy trying to go for value unless there's no tiles left.
If there's no tiles left, remember Tempai in these positions before, you really have to be Tempai and hope dealers also Tempai.
Yeah, honestly, if that's enough, that'll still close the gap by 3,000 points. Just
Yes.
significant, honestly. Oh, that's a really
Ooh.
interesting draw for
I'm just cutting the
our
2,
dealer
so
here.
I'm going for it. No, goes Hatsu Hatsu.
Adds all simples. I can see it. I can see
On
it.
now. Well, unless the 9 is drawn, and then you're just sad.
Yeah, but
5, there's our Tempai. This is Riichi Pinfu. Cuts the Dora here, 4-7. As Kihara would like to at least get his second here. Maybe an Ipatsu or an Ura sneak into first.
okay. So a quick
That's the
account does
4,
say
but it's in the
there's
wrong suit.
1-7,
Oh,
2 falls
well.
remaining, 3 tiles, and
Ishanten
suddenly
Parichi Pinfu Tanya Sanshoku.
that Sancho we talked about from the very start, that really greedy Sancho could finally be completed. Assuming that one of the 3
Why?
tiles that Kihara need.
Oh, well.
Well,
Just going to shove the 3 for now. You do have to possibly pick if you draw the 7.
yeah, if I were, Sura has nothing to lose, as we're saying, right? So just jamming a
Yeah,
dangerous
you're
tile.
not even really considering it.
Exactly.
Everyone else at this table is very scared.
Yeah. And you know what? Someone dealing into a big hand at this point is really, really good for Sura. Obviously,
Yes.
I'm sure they want to win, but
Well, as long as Sura is not
anyone.
the one dealing in, of course.
Okay, that 369 weight was resolved without drawing the knights. We do have that all symbols
There's our
confirmed, and this is
Ipeiko
the
confirmed. I think you just throw the stick out. Riichi Pinfu Ipeiko, possible Tanyao. The decision here is, do I want the Sanjigu potential with the
Ipeco.
Tanya, or do I want to lock into Ipeiko?
Yeah. How many sixes and nines do we see discarded already? I
And
don't
I
think we see
think that
many
because
either.
it's Sura, might just throw the 5 out.
Hmm.
Nope, does go ahead and take the 8. This is Riichi Pinfu Ipeiko, possible Tanyao, 6-9.
6-9 versus 3-6-9, but head bump is on as we talked about earlier. So if the 6 or the 9 of characters are played, and we see our dealer Furukawa gets Tenpai, okay, Furukawa's holding, but it would have been Sura who gets priority. Now it's just a battle between these two Riichis.
And it always feels bad when the person you're not really that concerned about chases third row. It's like, I didn't even have safe tiles against you, but I guess I knew you were pushing because you kind of have to.
Yeah, exactly. So by my count, it's
I
3
think I just
versus
go
3,
9
I
so, but
believe.
everything's bad here.
Yeah. I think it's 3v3 in the 4-7 so versus 6-9 of characters. The 3 is the only tile on that Suji line that was actually safe, so well played.
7 on close, but that's not it.
Does give a nice safe tile though for our dealer, who is now going to be folding.
So the 8 upgrades the shape of it before he again just folding out here.
Yeah. No reason not to play a guaranteed safe tile when you don't only want to be the one who deals into Sura. You don't really want to deal into Kihara either, but certainly
You
not
just want
losing
to stay
your.
out of damage here.
Yeah, exactly. There's a very real chance this goes to exhaustive draw with our dealer not Tenpai. Huge win for Kihara, getting another position back into second place, going into all last.
Yes, net's 500, but the importance is Tojo pays out 15, so it's a net of 2,000, and that is the difference here. Of course, there's also 2,300 in the pot now, so that makes the win condition for Kihara much easier. At the same time, makes the condition for Tojo a little easier. But as last dealer, it's just win.
Yeah, I think at this point it is just about between 3 players now.
At this
I
point,
think
if you're
Sura is
Tojo, I think
out.
you're shoving anything at anyone, even if Sura reaches, you don't necessarily care.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
To then 600, the second home, but just got updated, of course.
Thank you for that reminder.
5 fills in nicely. Has a Haku pair, but needs value. This just isn't it. Riichi
Yeah,
Sumo, Haku Dora is just not good enough.
this hand would be ideal for Furukawa, maybe for Kihara.
If
But
I'm anyone
not.
else at the table, I'm fine with that hand, but Sura needs
Yeah,
way more.
sadly.
South pair up. This is double South for
Double South
Kihara. Has
and
a
Adora,
Dora
3
as
hand.
well. Let's see. That 3
Kihara
hand,
has
I
enough
believe, is
value.
enough to overtake. So yes, it would be.
Oh, okay, sir. 4 dragons. I'm not saying you have to go dream big, but maybe there's a world with the next 2 draws of the
Well,
green
again, with
dragon.
the score, you do kind of have to dream big.
Yeah, I choose to believe a world where there are currently 3 green dragons in the wall somewhere, but maybe if Sura's very very lucky, they can fetch 2 of them before this green dragon gets played.
6 pin sends the shape in Pinzu. There's the South Call. That is now
double South Power 1.
Ishan 10. It's going to be hard to use the 5-7 because we'll be waiting the 6, which is Dora Indicator. But at the same time, Ishan 10 to win the match. You're going to take that for sure.
Yeah. Especially when you can open the hand. It's obviously
3
less.
doesn't really do much here. It is just a rough spot for Tojo.
Yeah. It's a situation where, like, Tojo doesn't necessarily need a huge win. Obviously, you can just win a cheap hand and keep your dealership going, but
3-5-7, not ideal, because if you get the 4, that isn't enough to overtake.
yeah.
Let's see. Is it? Hold on. Let's see. 35. With 26, I think Subo's enough. It's really close. Yeah, 4,500, 26 in the middle. 2 Han would be enough.
Okay. Wait, are going to see us get called? We're not going to see us get called. What? Okay, interesting. I would have expected Sura to pull the pin. Oh, but no. Yeah.
I like this Forso cut. You do have a Chitoy route, which, while not ideal, you'd take it. You see the Puln of the 4 here. This is Ishunten. Could go Tuban or 8 so. We'll go with the Tuban.
Yeah, I think 8 is
Speaking
just
of
slightly
Tuban,
wider. Yeah, Furukawa doesn't need any value either. even without the 2,600 in the pot, any win will do.
I feel like Sura's going for the Chito here. Reach Sumo Chitoi Doratura 2 is Baimon.
Yeah, I guess that would be enough on
certainly
Dark
get the attention of this table.
Still, it's a big ask, I think. With
Certainly
only
is.
4 pairs. But you have to go for whatever you can get.
Yeah,
if
if
you are
you know
good
your
for
condition to
Chitoi,
get out of laughed is Baimon Sumo, or I guess Hanemon Sumo would be enough that you have to build for. And if you get the Baimon, great.
yeah. And if you are going to go for 7 pairs, having a once cut 1 or 9 is not a bad tile to wait on. So,
Nah, this
big fan of
1-3
keeping
weight
that.
just gets worse and worse. This Tumon is now locked in. For the pair there, we've seen 1 discard. It's only 1 left in the wall, I believe. Unless it comes out here, and it doesn't, because the 4 has kept the last turn. The 2 would have come out otherwise. Absolutely bricking this hand.
Feels so bad for Sura right now.
It's important the score is where it is. Furukawa just needs to make sure Tojo isn't Tempai. Because Kihara cannot overtake with the 4,000 swing.
Okay, this is Tempai for Tojo.
Gotta
It's not the
throw
greatest
it.
reach, but he got it right. There's
Does
nothing
not
to
take
lose,
the
really.
Tempai.
Oh, if Tojo manages to keep this dealership going, especially if Tojo is the only player in Tempai, that will be a position. So we'll see how this works out.
May just be reading the 2 is locked up given the 4-3, but normally you just take the Tempai there. That Chun feels like a fold. There is Tempai waiting on 4-7.
And this
Oh,
is
right,
also
the
Tempai.
Riichi. Yeah, you can't really throw the door right into that. That's why.
Yeah. But let's look back into Tempai now. Everyone is Tempai.
6 can
The
shift this
8
down.
pin.
We'll do so.
It's not the best way in the world, but it is definitely a waitable time. But the 4-7 wins, which means this game is over, and Furukawa will take the 3 points for her team.
3 points. It's the first place. Tojo will be third. Kihara will get second. And Sura just couldn't get anything together.
But yes, congratulations to team number 9, as they will shoot ahead in the rankings from 11 to 14 points. 14 was first place at the start of this game. It probably won't be first place anymore, but that's going to be at least one position. Oh, we're going right to it. Amazing. So yeah, number 9 scoring 3 points, getting to 14, brings them to third place. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? We also saw... who did we actually see? I've already forgotten the teams now. Oh no.
Does seem a bit weird here with 9 teams under, 7 over with a positive here. Yeah,
That's actually pretty interesting, isn't it?
Right, and you also have the dynamics here where the score may be a little misrepresentative of how the team's been doing. John Kansu Master there in 7th with the 6.6. That seems reasonable, but then you see in 14th 4 seeds with a minus 13.5. Way down there.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. Like, even just looking at the top 3, right? Team Alke right now with an earned point score half of the other 2 players in top 3. But that just means that their games were really close. Or that they were playing to their win condition. One of the 2. Very good. Okay. Oh. Okay.
Okay, jumping into second place here, doing overall quite well. Of course, we are only 7 games into the 35. This, of course, session 2, session 1 was a month ago, so a long way to go yet.
Yeah, I think it was actually 2 months ago even. It's already May. That was March.
I
This
believe
year
we
is
have
flying.
another broadcast coming up tomorrow even.
Yes, tomorrow we'll play games 3 through 5.
So yes, definitely stay tuned for that. We've got a lot of broadcasts happening quite often quite thick and fast from here on in. I know that we had a 2-month gap between session 1 and session 2, but that's not going to be the same for future sessions, and we do have those 3 games tomorrow. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing all those. If you're enjoying the streams, of course, please do like, subscribe, do all those lovely YouTube things. The bigger a channel we get, the more access we're going to have to maybe other events in the future. That'd be really nice to see. But for now, we have the Saikyosen Team Battle, and I really enjoyed today.
Yeah, I didn't have the big hands in that match, but just a lot of tough situational play.
Yeah, exactly. When only position matters and you have the 3 teams within a mangon of each other, I believe. It may even have been close to that. I think it was 6,000 points at one point. It's always really tough to decide, like, how much do I push? See a lot of very good defense, a lot of people folding. Whereas in a format where we had, like, say, a first place rank bonus, that at Oka, you would have seen a lot more aggression to those reaches, I think. So it's interesting to see how the format changes how you play, right? You've got to adjust.
Right, especially early. You're going to get teams a little more desperate as you get towards that 30 game range. But for now, it's just you're feeling okay with a second. And if you get first, you go for it.
Yeah, exactly. And even 16th place, as we can see here on the stream, Cookie Rousseau x Northland, like that, it's a gap of 12 points. That's 3 games. That's 3 wins. Actually, it's 4 wins.
Well, it's 4 wins because you only get 3 for a first. But at the same time,
my brain keeps thinking 4-3-2-1-0. I think it should be 4-3-2-1. Personally, that's my hot take of the day. Give last place 1 point.
Are we really rewarding the consolation point for someone showing up?
Yes.
I feel it's much more standard to punish them for their insolence if they don't show up. So I think the 3-2-1
you got the minus 20. Yeah. But yeah, either way though, yeah, if you are interested in these streams, please do consider tuning in tomorrow for games 3 to 5 of this session. And I suppose from myself, from Korak, and from Jen, thank you for watching. Anything to say? Anything to plug, guys?
I love listening to you guys together.
Study session in the WRC channel tomorrow. I believe you have to have signed up for, but that's so early for me.
Yeah, the one tomorrow is aimed for the European crowd, and there'll be another one later in the month more aimed for the North American crowd. But it is open to the public for a small fee. I'll be interpreting, and our guest speaker this time is Fujisaki, a former Mahjong Fight Club member of M League.
Sounds amazing. If I had $20 to get in on that, I would be myself for sure. And yeah,
I have to say I love hearing you guys together. Usually it's always Chiral does the first game and Korak does the last game, so I love these weekend streams when we can hear you guys together.
Yeah, time zones are weird that way.
Yeah, it's actually really fun doing commentary with you, Korak, because like you're really fast at getting like the early games in, so I can just sort of like focus on like asking a question or like kind of getting a like the details of the, especially early on in the hands. You're really good at covering that, so I'm like, I need to just like, what can I add to this? And it's fun. It's kind of a like, what kind of spicy angle can I think of?
Yeah, a lot of people end up in the same situation. It's just having seen so many hands through online play. You're like, okay, these are the 4 main routes the hand are going. I don't know which one it's going to be. We'll set some parameters and see if we can spark some discussion. Yeah,
exactly. It's fun. But yeah, obviously, it's always fun casting with Jen as well. Obviously, that was good.
Of course. Well, I think that's a pretty good time to sign off. Again, hope to see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. We'll have 3 games instead of 2.